back. I know we have a few of you that are already waiting in the chat. Welcome in. Hopefully you're having a fantastic day so far. It is the last day before Twitch drops, and so we're going to be doing some like marathon streams starting tomorrow. But as far as today, we are already in Infinite. We're post Infinite now. We're top 100. When I hit it, I think it was top 24, and then of course additional people have been able to hit it at a higher SP. But we're jumping in with some Infinite gameplay today. We're going to be doing a little bit of screaming, is what I think we're going to be running today. And then Super Duper Tyler, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. Angel, Schwaks, welcome in, you guys. Hopefully you're having a fantastic one. Full-time content creator yet? Technically, yes. I've put in my notice at work, and I'm doing half days there until I'm fully out. And then Pilk said, "Making us wait so long." My bad, Pilk. My bad. I got summoned as soon as I was about to hit start stream. I'm a full-time mod, so that tracks. Does track. Super Duper, you said I'm not gonna lie, I'm very invested in this, although I can't financially support you. Thank you for just being here to enjoy the content and watch the streams. Is more than I could ever ask of anybody. And so just being here is helping the journey, whether you think it is or not. It definitely makes this a possibility. And then Maddie, you said excited to see the Scream deck. I was playing her a lot last night. Yeah, so the Scream deck, I'm going to take away the stuff that's blocking it on the screen. And then we'll kind of run through what it is. So I initially thought Craven was going to be good in the deck. And it turns out it was kind of cope. It never felt like it was really great. And so I ended up cutting it for the more flexible like Jeff or White Widow. White Widow adds a little bit of clutter so that you always have a card to hit with like Spider-Man, with Stegron. And so you can always be moving something, even if they're not playing onto curve or not playing very many cards. I also added in Magneto at the back end. I originally had Cannonball, but I feel like Cannonball without having like a full clutter situation is a little bit risky because you're not actually destroying those cards. And so I never felt like Cannonball was in a great spot. And so I think Magneto is just a bigger body. And we have a couple of one costs. We have Silver Sable and then Miles we'll be able to use as a one cost. So if we do go like Arrow on the last turn, we can go either Miles or Sable and Arrow. Or if we go Stegron, we can go Stegron plus a 2 cost. And then we have the disruption pieces of like Juggernaut, Polaris. I really like the Spider-Man in this, and Stegron finally has an okay home. He's a decent enough body that even if you don't hit something great, that plus another +2 on Scream, maybe a -2, an extra -2 with Kingpin can go a long way. He said, "I love the creativity of all the Scream names being or yeah, it is just screaming." And then on the YouTube side, we have Two Place name. Happy to catch the stream right at the start since I've got some time to kill. Thank you so much for being here, Two Place. Horror Story said, "Hey TLSG, loving the 2 new cards." Agent Venom is fantastic. I ran that up to Infinite, and then I started playing around with Scream last night. And then Jared said, "We'll be along for the ride today while I respond to the third-party risk assessment." Oh, I appreciate you hanging out during that. Hopefully it can kind of help that go by a little bit smoother, maybe. We're going to run to a quick set of ads before we jump in and launch in. That way we're not going to have the gameplay interrupted, and we'll kind of sit around and chat for all of our subs from right now. And then Rio, hello from Indonesia. Welcome in, Rio. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Very glad to have you here. And then Show, welcome in. AE, you said, "Oh gosh, I do TPRM stuff." Yeah, the risk assessment stuff never sounds fun. How does this deck play anything if you don't draw Scream and Kingpin? You just play it anyways. You just curve into it. It's not gonna, like, all of this stuff is typically good base power, and so you'll just be looking to do disruptive stuff. And so between like a Stegron, Polaris, White Widow, you're looking to cap out one of their lanes so that you can more easily win that one. And then you're looking to like dominate the other one with like an arrow plus a miles plus whatever else on the tail end of it. And then Kenny, you said hi TLSG. I saw on Reddit about you getting scammed on the gift subs. Yeah, and it happened. It didn't just happen to me. And so we don't necessarily know their situation. Maybe they had some really bad things going on that they thought they could afford it, and then something happened, and then they couldn't. I don't know. I never know exactly what was going on their end. I just hope that they're well, and that something really bad didn't happen. It is unfortunate, especially for those people that really rely on that piece. But fortunately, I wasn't in a situation where it hurt me so negatively that it like I might not be able to pay rent or something like that. And so I'm fortunate in that regard. It was definitely a blow to see it come through as it was like negative $400. It was definitely a blow, but it is what it is. We take it and we kind of move on. And then I appreciate the gifted community sub as the support. And,
hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
GEEN, thank you so much for the Prime sub. That pushes us to 1094. So we may break my wife's original 1250 goal. We have enough time. They just got an ad for eggs. Never in my life have I seen such a thing. I didn't realize there was such a thing. And then Wolverine, thank you for so much. What would I do if you weren't popping in the streams? And it's not the scenes, because I still haven't fully... I'm not confident that I fully fixed the issue. And so instead, I'm just not switching scenes for now. And then Hippo Lord Slaps, rank number 4, snaps us on turn number 1. They do have a Killmonger, which is scary. Makes me almost not want to play Kingpin, but... Pilk, you said I'm still recovering all my bits that you lost me last night. Channel points. Yeah, we're gonna be recovering those for quite some time. That was, I thought that game was on lock. So I apologize, but I thought that was a surefire, can't lose type of game. How many more days do you have to determine the going full-time content creator? So negative a couple. I think it was on Sunday. It was on the 30th. So it was on Monday. Monday, we actually reached and exceeded that goal. And so with that, we are going to be going and switching over into full-time status.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
You did a really good job the last streams and ripped me of my reminder. I know last stream, for whatever reason, I was on top of it. But I promise you that ends today. Have you played Scream Clog? I did. I deleted it because I wasn't doing well. It was more of an experimentation. I didn't do incredibly well with it, so I did end up deleting it, but I at least tested it out a little bit. Also, just went for Pocket after I couldn't log in all day. 2 packs, got an EX and an FA again. Full art. That's huge, Angel. Because I'm on a stint where I'm really not pulling a whole lot of good, and so I'm glad that one of us is getting some good luck. So I think we're just gonna play a big body arrow. We could also pull the Killmonger, but since Kingpin is dead, I think we try this. We have the one Stegron in the left, so we at least have a decent amount of power. Maybe we can finesse a Juggernaut on the last turn. Right. Hit Monkey is big. They may be able to go full fill with what that looks like. We don't have priority. This would end up being 15. We don't win mid. We don't take out anything here either. Yeah, I think we're going to lose this one. We can't really compete left. We can't really compete right. Even like a Magneto is not going to do it for us. We'll jump out of this one. Said White Widow is smart for the deck. So to be fair, I didn't come up with the idea of White Widow. I was playing with Agent Venom last night on my path to Infinite, and somebody absolutely bodied me with a Jeff White Widow a much more like small, low to the ground style with just the light movement. Absolutely demolished me. And so I picked up a couple of those ideas from them and then filled out the rest. Eric said, I feel like we're going to get a lot of that today. I thought it was a clever title. And then 2 place said, congratulations on getting the goal. Astrid said, what happened? So I had a goal. I just played, I feel like I just played them for some reason. I had a goal of 1,000 subs. At 1,000 subs was the marker where if I was able to hit that, I would go full time. And we smashed that goal took like 7 days to go from 170 to the 1,000. And so with that, I'm going to be going live every day in October to kind of support transitioning into that full-time status. I've been seeing people with plus QG in their name. Is that a clan? I don't know, Captain. But I feel like I've seen a couple of them today already. So Polaris, pull a Mysterio over. They get another one in expansion. They get pretty close to full cap. Scream goes up. Kingpin negatively afflicts them, which is great. The Brood is very scary. So it's a Patriot deck. Get a little glimpse with Sarah. Okay. And they get Super Scroll. So we don't want to drop the Sarah, but they paid the massive like $100 for the web border, which I think looks good. I can't drop $100 on it. Then Ziggerzak, you said, will Agent Venom other card passes be available on Spotlight caches in the coming months? Yeah, they always add them back in. It's just a matter of when they get to do that. So Spider-Man could potentially cap us out in mid. Do like Silver Sable. I don't think we ever win the left lane though is the problem. The right lane. The right lane becomes a problem if we can get them capped out here. Perfect. You said sure you can. You got that content creator money. I mean, he just made the transition to full time. We can't be doing any of those shenanigans. So we do smash down the second Mysterio, and so they're both -4, which is beautiful to see. They go up by 4. I love to see it. We could go Arrow, pull over their Patriot. On the last turn, it'd be looking like something like maybe Juggernaut. We're giving up this lane in hopes to be able to win this one. And with the big base of 10, 6, and 3, Scream's going to scale a little bit more here. Patriot is going to go down in the negatives. I think we're in a good spot. I feel like Agent Venom Patriot is kind of cope, but I also haven't experimented and played with it all that much. Is Agent Venom worth the buy? I think Agent Venom is pretty solid. He has some pretty good applications for some like mid-range builds that I think could be good. Seems like Scream won't perform as high as some thought. I think Scream is decent. Definitely fun, but I don't think she's gonna go in like every single build. I think she's okay for what she is. This game she's gonna be about a 2.8, which I think is what I've been seeing on average for her. And actually it'd be 2.14 because we afflicted these with -2 each. So I think it's decent since it's afflicting both sides. Now, if they have something like, oh, we should have put higher base power in the left. What are we doing? We should have put the Sarah over there, just in case we needed the one more. So Killmonger comes in. Fortunate. And then Surfer. Okay, that shouldn't do it, yeah? Oh, no, we're good. We grabbed the 8 off of Peralta. Take it.
Victory.
How many keys did it take? You're gonna be mad. You're gonna be so mad. Oh, Astrid said you were talking about someone losing 400 earlier? Yeah, so there was a member of the Snap community that gave out large amounts of gifted subs to several different creators. I wasn't the one that was impacted the most, but I was one of the most. So I think the one that was impacted the most lost like $1,300. So the individual gifted large amounts to subs to several different creators. I think it was about 10 to 12 if I was just ballparking it. And then on Saturday, they either called in and called fraud or whatever with the credit card company and got a chargeback on all of those gifted subs. And so the total amount amounted to, I think it exceeded, I want to say it exceeded 15,000 between everybody that was involved. And so definitely not a small amount of money, but also not a great spot to be in. Yeah, so Guest has a lot of information on it, yeah. And so he did some tweets pulling it all together. Crazy, yeah, that's, and so maybe it was a kid. So from what I read and what I gathered, this person talked about in chats it like claiming fraud to get the funds back after. I don't know. And so I don't think it was like a kid that got their parents' card, but again, we don't necessarily know what was going on there. What's the substitute for Polaris? I don't know if there's any other cards that, off the top of my head, that move the opponent's cards. You would want something around that 3 cost range. So Polaris is really good at, proccing your Kingpin, proccing your Scream. So I don't know if there's any without that. He's a VP for a financial company. Yeah, that's I saw that on Guests. What Guest tweeted. I haven't like fact checked or validated anything, so I don't know for sure. Is the separate channel for Pokemon just for algorithm reasons? Yeah. Yep. So it's primarily for algorithm reasons, so that because if I post something that doesn't perform well, like on my main YouTube channel, the next video I post after that is kind of, it doesn't get pushed as far because it, like YouTube said, I don't know, the last video that they posted, their normal viewers didn't watch it, and so we're not going to push this one as far because it's like either risky or they're posting off the wall content, and so it makes it a little bit harder for your videos to perform consistently. Scream gaming? Yeah, we are scream gaming. You just missed an 8-cuber against a Patriot build. Scream is, I think, decent. Scream, with every movement being +4, can get pretty impactful over the course of the game. It doesn't feel like it's anything crazy, but you can definitely get some wins with it. And then Nimbus, do you enjoy a cinema? I do. I don't go as often anymore, but I do watch a lot of movies from home. We lost our Silver Sable. They lost Bishop and Kate Bishop. Great to see. Hood was the last card they played. Since we have the extra energy, we could always arrow pull the Hood over so that Scream impacts and the Hood impacts. But I'm a little bit worried about maybe a Viper. So maybe it's more so like this. We do White Widow. We make sure that they have a card in Nord Dimension, and then we slap Stegron. We use Stegron to slap it over to the right. T Green at the said, got my Scream out. And then Drew, you said, now that TLSG is going full time, will caption extensions? Yes, I want to add the caption extensions. I just haven't looked into like which ones and how to set it up, but I do want to provide it and make sure that there's like a caption service for those that either can't listen with audio or can't hear, or it just kind of helps their viewing experience. I want to make sure that that's there for them. All right, so Scream is big. Let's do, what was the last card they played? Demon? Polaris isn't awful. Polaris, double Jin. On the last turn, we'll have Juggernaut to push their big cards away, potentially. Yeah, I did see that that Eggs used captions. I was checking out her Pokemon Pocket stream the other, I think it was maybe Sunday. And so I'm gonna check with her to see which one she uses and how hard it is to set up. Yeah, and she does steal the power even when it's not revealed, which is nice. compared to like Spider-Man that doesn't move cards if it's not revealed yet. Did you hit your 1K goal? We sure did. We're actually almost 100 over it. And so I put in my notice. My boss is reasonably stressed, but nobody above her has, came and said anything. Nobody has tried to be like, is there anything we can do to get you to stay? And nothing like that, which kind of surprised me, honestly.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
And then Ram Ham Bam 95 and Alan VHZ. Thank you so much for the Prime
welcome.
subs
It took you
and the
long
support.
enough.
That pushes us to 6 for the day. Even after smashing the goal, we have just some insane support coming around. So Spider-Man should be able to move unrevealed. Yeah. Yep. I wish he could. And then Ram Ham. I'm glad you're able to catch the stream as well. I'm a mute watcher. Would love captions. T Greenathy. I'll see what we can make happen. After I end today, I may not do too late. So probably like 4:30. So like maybe a 4-hour stream or so. Because I'm prepping for tomorrow being a marathon. So tomorrow, if you don't know, Twitch drops are starting again tomorrow. I'm going to be doing a stream at 11 when they launch. I'm going to go until about 6, so around 7 hours. I'm going to pause, have dinner, get my family all set up, and whenever they go to bed, I'm going to sneak back off, and I'm going to do an overnight stream. And so I'll be doing another like 7 or 8 hours or however long I can go until I pass out. And so I plan on doing some a really big lengthy stream starting tomorrow, so I don't want to burn the candle too early on. So we could do, let's see. Magneto potentially pulls like the Hope Summer's over. We put the other big body, do like Jeff, and I think we call it good. They would have to get a lot of power out to be able to beat us, but they're not able to. We'll gladly grab the win, and we're going to be able to hopefully smooth sail our way up here. Twitch drops tomorrow. Yep. Twitch drops start tomorrow about 22 hours from now. And then new low score. Thank you so much for the resub with your Prime for the 2nd month. Very glad to have you here. Hopefully you're having a fantastic time. Alan said how many subs already? We are at 1,098. So we're almost 1,000 over the goal. We may potentially reach my wife's original 1,250 goal that she had set. We had agreed upon. I guess it wasn't just her. That we had agreed upon. I was able to barter her down to 1,000, but we may smash 1,250 anyways. Then call it a day. You said I've been watching your videos since the beta days. You're the main reason I like to play the game. Keep up the good work. Thank you so much. Call it a day.
It took you long enough.
Very much appreciate it. And then Catharandamus, thank you so much for the 1 month at tier 1. We were able to hit the first level of Partner Plus last month. We have to be able to do that for 3 months in a row. And if we can, then I'll get a higher split of ad revenue, or sub revenue, not ad revenue, of the sub revenue. And so that goes towards that. I appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great day. Fireball said, how did you decide that you were that what you were making from videos was reliable enough to quit your job? So it was a long time coming. So it's a well, first off, I took like a 6-month break, and I had an audience whenever to come back to. Like when I came back and I was ready to come back, the audience was still there, which really helped me with my like imposter syndrome of like one day I'm gonna upload a video and it's just gonna get no viewers. And then in addition to that, I started streaming more consistently to kind of test the waters and see if it was something that I could reliably make enough to do it full time. And the last 3 months that I've done this, streaming part-time, doing the videos, and between that, the video revenue and sponsors, I made more than I made at my day job for those three months while doing it relatively part-time. And so then that's when I was able to knock off the 250 with my wife down to 1,000, and I decided it was time to make that happen. My job did call for a return to work, or return to office. And so if I didn't make the transition now, my videos and content would slow down to a very slow crawl. And so it was kind of like you either do it now or probably not at all type of thing. And then Reniat Moses said, I know it's early, but I have 6,008 keys. But Man Thing and Mobius. So I don't know how strong it is. I think it's decent whenever there's not like flood type stuff being played, but there's always the potential that you run into those like flood or clutter style decks. I do think she's really decent. So being able to scale, she's like a Craven and Kingpin combined into one that doesn't matter where cards are moved, which makes it much more consistent to proc. So I think she is pretty good. I think we'll see her quite a bit. And sorry, I had scaled way up to read the chat. And then Ico Trim, are you concerned it'll be hard to keep the numbers of subs? So Trim, I don't anticipate keeping the subs. So I expect a fall off. The 1,000 sub was just the goal that, like, if we can get the community to rally behind me and get up to that point, then we can say that it's it's going to be consistent enough to be a real thing. And so I don't expect to have 1,000 every month. Even if we have like our normal like 4,000-ish, we should be, or not 4,000, goodness. Even if we have our normal like 400 to 600, we should be okay. So we're going to lose the right lane. Unless we did like big Magneto, but then they could still potentially do like a Hazmat. A Juggernaut, Scream, Juggernaut, and Marvel Boy. Probably never wins it in these other two. We're winning this one by 3, this one by a touch. So if they're playing, I feel like they probably play. Do they play in the Kingpin lane or the Scream lane? We're winning this one by more, but the move would afflict them more here. My gut tells me they're going to stack into Silver Sable lane. They did not. Maybe it'll be okay. Wait, no, I should have... Oh, man. I meant to put Miles Morales in the left. If we lost by 5, it's my mistake. Magneto mid is a thing, too? Magneto mid would be a thing, too. Wait. 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 We won anyways. See, I messed up the Miles Morales play. But our Juggernaut slapped their dagger into the left lane before she could move, so she couldn't scale. Huge. He'll take it. What deck did you hit Infinite with? I hit Infinite with the Agent Venom Hitmonkey style of deck that I was running yesterday on stream. Why are you not streaming at 1080p? Am I not, Silas? I thought I was. If so, I need to look at the settings. And then scrolling back up, I missed a couple. What's your favorite card? Captain Marvel. I think her ability is really cool. I don't think she's ever been broken, but I really like the idea that you can play a card anywhere and it's going to help you impact and potentially win the others. And then Drew said, going by Dara's case, it seems easier to maintain a regular viewer base as a regular streamer. Yeah, that's what I'm thinking as well. Because without being able to stream regularly, it was very sporadic. I had to almost always rely on being able to do a plug, like so release a video right before the stream went live. I'll still do that some, but hopefully with like more regular hours, it won't matter as much. So hopefully I can build that viewership as well. And Pilky said the 6 month without TLSG snapping was hard. I didn't watch any other content creators. It was something that I needed to go through. I wish I didn't. I wish I never took the break, but I needed to. Like, it was absolutely necessary. I was in a very bad spot with my dad passing. I was in a very bad mental spot, and was just overwhelmed with everything because I was doing, my full-time job, full-time content creation, and then also full-time being a dad. And so, like, the only way that I knew to try and be able to deal was to offload some of that, and it didn't intentionally happen. It's just I kind of shut down. But better now, much better now, and I'm very glad that I'm back. But it was a tough 6 months for sure. You said, Alice, I remember checking your channel every week. or something, wondering what happened. Yeah. And I didn't intend to just like leave without telling anyone what was going on. But I just kind of like shut down. And so it was hard for me to respond to emails. It was hard for me to like even do like some of the simple things. Just felt like monumentally overwhelming. And so eventually it reached like that point. Extremely strong, but not flexible. Yeah. She's strong, but also she doesn't go in a whole lot of builds other than like disruptive move style stuff. Oh, and I missed so many chats. Oh my goodness. The sub goal complete. Yes.
Hey, welcome. It took you long
Suicide
enough.
Sheep. The sub goal is complete, and we are gonna make that transition to full time. I've put in my notice at work. They're very stressed because they're already down one member, and we think they're about to be down another. So very stressed, but I'm very excited to see where this takes us. Glad you're back. Me too, Alice. Me too. Like it got to the point where I couldn't even load up YouTube because I was sad to see like Cozy videos or Bink's videos, knowing that like I wasn't in that space anymore. It was just very like tough to deal with. Then Blue Phoenix, welcome in. Are you playing Mobster Move? How's that working out? I was thinking of trying it. I'm doing really well. We're top 89, and we've been hovering right around that space. Let's go ahead and do Arrow. Move their leech over. We're gonna just negatively afflict this Fisk Tower lane as much as possible. I think this is Cerebro 4, and we're kind of ruining their day. They could have maybe a Luke Cage. Luke Cage could hurt us quite a bit. So Scream moves. The Nocturne. Ooh, Nocturne changes into Ego.
This is my domain.
Bold. And then Sarah comes down. Let's see if they have. Let's see. Ego, don't fail us. Okay, the questionable Jeff call, but otherwise solid play. The Scream have a 3 or 4 card package she can be used with. Kind of something like Juggernaut is always good in game, like a Polaris, Spider-Man, and then maybe like Stegron or Arrow can be a pretty decent one. All right, so we move the right lane. Let's see what all they went with. If they had to have a Luke Cage, we may be in trouble. Okay, so the Mystique, unfortunate for them. They may stick this one out just because of Ego. And so Cerebro coming in at that 4 power. What is this last one? Falling Wing. Okay, we will take it. They didn't have the Luke Cage. Otherwise, wait, it was incredibly close still.
Victory.
Without this -2, they would have won the left lane. Very close. We will take the 4 though. And then it is time for a quick ad break. I'm low on snoozes because I used them all yesterday. But we're gonna take a quick ad break and then jump into some more. I think we started off super strong with the deck. I think we lost 1 out of like the 4 or 5 that we've played. Making some slow climbs. That's a highlight for sure. So I haven't been recording because I was just kind of catching up with you guys chatting. But I'll start recording some for like a spotlight video soon. And then Angel, you may be able to make some clips, yeah. Rank 85? Yeah, we're rank 85. Last night I ended at rank 24. Then of course other people finished reaching infinite with a little bit higher SP. And then store manager, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. Said, is Valkyrie a good card to pick up? In X, I'd probably lean towards no. She's decent in Cerebro 3, but you don't see her very many other places. Is Scream worth the keys? If you only have 2, I'd probably say hold off because you don't know if you're gonna pull it or not. I think she's worth the keys. I think she's gonna be good in a very particular build, but I don't think she's super flexible either. We're gonna do the quick set of ads, and then we'll be back and jump into some more. He said this seems crazy. Scream is essentially Havoc without a downside. Yeah, if you can move something every turn, she scales dramatically. And then Toxin. If you have 16, yeah, if you have 16, you have a load of keys. If you're buying the pass every season and like maxing out your weekly emissions, I'd say yeah. Oh, store manager, you have 0 left. I got lucky and I one-tapped Scream, so I have 2 left going into like the start of the season to help build back up a base. Oh, you have 18k tokens. I have like 3k. I'm missing 2 cards, and so eventually I'll pull those, but they're not like a rush by any means. Let's go ahead and go to the ad break, and then we'll chat a little bit, and I'll launch into the next one. So the player base didn't want to see full-time TLSG. He's coming for the throne. We're coming for the throne, especially with drops tomorrow. We're gonna be doing some extended degenerate hours, and so we're gonna see how high we can get. I'm gonna see if maybe this can be the highest ranked season we've ever had. And then Blue Phoenix, I saw your message a second ago. You said sorry to hear about the reason you had to leave, but so glad you're doing better and back. Yeah, it was something that I didn't intend to have to take the break. It just, the break told me, or my body told me I had to. What are your normal streaming hours going to be? They're probably going to be around, similar to I think Jeff's. So around 10 Central through around 5 Central, most weekdays, I think, is what I'm probably gonna lean towards. So 5 or 6 depending on the day, and then it'll switch around with drops and other things that pop up. And then on the YouTube side, you said it was funny when KM Best said you're the nicest guy playing the most evil decks. I mean, to be fair, I don't know that a better description has ever been said. For whatever reason, I like the most diabolical decks that you can make. That's what I always gravitate towards. And Uno, you said Uno Ziba, you said, hey TLSG, how does this deck feel? As in, is it easy to pilot? So it's not incredibly tough to pilot, but it can require some anticipation of where your opponent's going to play their cards, to be able to get a location get completely capped out. And actually, I think they do maybe a beast to pull these back in. Maybe it's a falcon. So I think we still have room for Polaris since we go second. And then maybe we can angle like a juggernaut or something. No, a bishop. Ooh, interesting. Wasn't expecting that. So if we did White Widow, I'd rather do a Stegron, I think. Depending on where or what card we push, we can angle a White Widow to see if we can cap out whatever other lane it is next turn. There's the Falcon coming down a touch too late. All right, now they have the room. I'd love to see you succeed with full time. You might have an easier time building a following off if you start a bit before Jeff goes live. Yeah, and I think he goes live around 10. I'm gonna see how early I can get my daughter to school, and that would be around the time that I would go live. So I think we go Miles, White Widow, Jeff. Next turn, it might be that we angle a Juggernaut here to push out of Baxter Building. Now, the only potential issue is that they can flood a lot of cards, so we may not be able to push everything that they can drop out. And then Pilk, you said, anyways, I'm going to bed. I'll join you for the Digin Hour stream tomorrow. Oh, it sounds good, Pilk. Hopefully you have a good rest of your night. Enjoy a good big glass of Pilk for me. Before you go, how often do you drink Pilk? Because I feel like with a username like that, you probably drink it quite often. I feel like it's a pretty significant amount that you just enjoy it that much. Let's try Juggernaut. I'll do Spider-Man over to the right. It won't have anywhere to move, so it's not going to move like anything accidentally into Baxter Building. Jeff is doing Pokemon Pocket in the mornings going forward, so you have a chance. Okay, which sounds good. I think as we get maybe closer to global release or global launch, maybe I do a mix of like Pokemon Pocket and Snap, but for now I think just primarily Snap. And so Hitmonkey, as long as that card in... Ooh, actually... Okay, we lost. Oof. A lot of power that came down. We're not quite able to do it a few times a week. It's a lot to drink it all the time. Don't want to upset the stomach. I gotcha. But does it make the Pepsi like creamy? Is that what the milk does? Kind of like I guess it would be kind of equivalent to doing like a Coke float, which is like Coke with vanilla ice cream. I think it would be very similar to that. And then KekW Gaming said, bro, congrats on making it full time. Thank you so much. I'm very excited. I'm nervous because it is a big jump, a big leap. But I think we're gonna do just fine. Did I have 6,000 tokens and no clue what to go for this month? Everyone excited for Toxin. Oh, if you don't like Bounce, then Toxin's probably not going to be the line you go with. So I think Fenris is going to be very, very potent. And then Scorn, if you like Dak and Dex, if you like potentially like Machine Gun Gambit decks, I think Scorn is going to be great. Pilk Subgoal. Ooh, that's a good one. I need to add that one onto the list. I would absolutely do a do a Pilk Subgoal. Kenny said, what is the little gift looking icon next to my name? I know nothing about Twitch. So that says that you are one of the top gifters, or that you've gifted subs. So you've gifted 10 subs in the channel. And so I don't think that's set to weekly. I think that's set to just any time. But you've donated or gifted 5 subs in my chat. And so it's their way of doing that, like recognition for those that like do donate and do a contribute or do those things. Less creamier unless you get some extra creamy milk. Ooh, okay. Imagine a root beer float, except just milk. Yeah. Yep, that's what I was thinking, T Greenathy. It sounds weird whenever you, to be fair, it sounded a little bit peculiar. I wouldn't say weird. Peculiar. Whenever I first heard about it, the more that I think about it, it's just like a float, which we drink. We drink all the time. Like I haven't had any in a while, but like growing up, they were a very common thing, and so it's not as weird as it initially like sounded. I've actually had Pepsi official Twitter account reply to me on multiple occasions. That's huge, Pilk. that's such a big flex. So we can go Spider-Man, see if maybe we cap out Castle Zemo. We could also go Stegron here, pushing an extra Mysterio over to the right. With them running Mysterio, Luke Cage, could be Cerebro 4, maybe. Let's go Spider-Man. Congrats on going full-time. Thank you so much, Shindig. I'm very excited and very nervous at the same time. All right, so we pushed into mid, unfortunately, but it's not the end of the world. Is next week Misery? I don't know. I can look. Spider-Man mid is, so it either goes mid or right. Might have been better, yeah. We have to play here this turn, so this. They get Cerebro and some other 4 costs down. Now, the good thing is they can't position their claw.
I am
here.
Iron Man.
Iron Man. Can't hit the Juggernaut either. I'm going to try Magneto left. I don't know if it'll actually pull Miss Marvel or not, but I'm going to give it a shot. One time was when they first announced Nitro Pepsi, and I asked when they were releasing Nitro Pilk. Did they give you like a legitimate answer? Real Mysterio is mid?
I am Iron Man.
Oh yeah, Real Mysterio is definitely mid. Oh well. Even without the Cerebro, we're gonna lose this one. We probably could have played that maybe a little bit different. Evander Compound definitely hurt towards that end, but it still hurts to lose. Then Cool Guy, you said Scream is very good. Running similar with success. Have 3 switches. Sable with Shang-Chi, Jeff with Cannonball, Magneto with Eliath. Ooh, Cool Guy. I do always like a sneaky Eliath play. And Silver Sable definitely could be something else. Do you ever feel like your curve is too high, though, with all of those? Like, sometimes I want to make sure that I can do a 5 plus a 1 on the last turn, like an Arrow plus Sable, Arrow plus Miles. And then Bloody Deadpool, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great one. I'll have to see if I can find the tweets it was on. If you find them, you should shoot them over to me, Pilk. I'd love to see them. Ooh, so double Kingpin. It's fun. But for now, let's go Polaris, move over to the left. Either that, or maybe it's that we go like Spider-Man. Pull their Kingpin away. Have you considered a hybrid negative move with Ajax? I hadn't. Maybe. Wait, what? Oh man, we grabbed their Kingpin. I didn't realize it would smack our Spider-Man. At least it didn't kill it like the old days. Is this too heavy in the left lane? I feel like it is. I know that next turn something will pull in to Grand Central. Maybe we can. I was hoping we could slap him with a. All right, so it turns out we should have left it alone. Rough. We can pull the Spider-Man out with Arrow. We could also potentially pull their Kingpin with Polaris. We're in a tough spot. Oh, and we don't have priority, so Arrow's not going to pull their Spider-Man. It's going to pull what was already mid, and so it's not actually going to move anywhere. Okay, I guess it will. The double slap. Okay, that second Spider-Man was unfortunate for him, but we did double slap it with Kingpin. Ooh, and Stegron was huge. It opened up a space for us. And how is Scream going? I heard underwhelming things earlier. I enjoy Scream. If you can get her down, she can make a huge impact on the board for sure. Depending on where they play, this might be all right. The Nick, thank you so much for the resub with your Prime. Love your work. Thank you so much. I love that you're here. Love that you can enjoy it. There's no way they don't feel left, right? I mean, maybe. We could also do like a split fill, like Polaris, something like this, so we're competing and pressuring every lane. Opium? Nope, never. Not even a chance. Okay, well. I guess there was a chance. Magneto to the right actually could have won, right? Maybe? Magneto right potentially could have won. And then Zol, you said, Zol Bug Buddy, you said it looks like you hit your 1,000. We did. We're actually over 100 over it, 1,103. We might potentially hit mine and my wife's original goal of 1,250, which would have been the original trigger for me to go full time. We have several weeks to be able to do it. We might be able to make it happen, but what are the best cards they've been releasing lately? Afflict cards, Scream, Sable, Scream, even Ajax. They've been really strong, just with how consistent they are. Anthony, you said I had no idea about your dad. My dad just passed away back in October last year. Yeah, definitely, it's very difficult. And my family is not one that really is close with their feelings. We normally are more like push it down and ignore it type. And so being being forced to like where my body just told me we're not able to do what we need to do anymore. You're gonna need to slow it down. Was tough, but I'm glad that I took the break that I was needed. It was hard to do it, but I'm very fortunate that there's some really great viewership to come back to, because it just as easily could have been that after that point no one was there. So let's go Juggernaut right. I think there's a chance they play into Hotel Inferno. Maybe they go Camartage. We'll go right though. So we push from Hotel Inferno over to the left. Scream gets a little bump. They did lose Zabu earlier. Now Iron Lad. And then they do get the double trigger of Psylocke. So I guess there's a benefit for us. And Zol, you said I can resub with my Prime tomorrow. I appreciate it, Zol. And then Gus Tornado. Hello, good day for y'all. Welcome in, Gus Tornado. Thank you so much for being here. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. So I think we go Miles, Spider-Man. It's either that or we go Stegron. Stegron's only going to move one card. Spider-Man could potentially pull it twice, right? I guess it doesn't matter after the first one. I'll just go Stegron. We'll just go good guy Stegron. We have Spider-Man after that to potentially move some cards around as well. And then Drunken King, I'm doing well. Hopefully you're doing well as well. And we do get Spider-Man, so we can pull Wong out of this lane. The double Sable is great. Yeah, let's go ahead and do this. So Spider-Man, double Sable, the like singular Spider-Man, Miles over to the right. We have Magneto to potentially pull and remaneuver their Wong back around again, which I think is going to be really disruptive because they can shift their play from this lane over to this one. We're going to rip it away again. Watch Spider-Man jump back into Camartage. Oh, that would have been awful. For Wong that he moves back to Camartage, calling it. I'm so glad that did not happen, but it very much could have. And so, oh, Black Panther. Ooh. If they do Arnhem Zola, it's probably the weaker of the plays all around. But if they were going to try to do Arnhem Zola, this is our play. Because Magneto would just do what they need to anyways. And then it comes down to a, I guess a... Okay, we need the 50-50 now. We just need the 50-50 and we're home free. Huge. I'd be so mad.
Victory.
I'd be so mad. Angel said, I'll clip that. Absolute cinema. The way that we drew it up, exactly. Whew. What was that? That was very lucky. Never a doubt. Exactly as we planned, indeed. Said, why does Daily Marvel Snap always get... Wait, did they get a clip of me losing, Carne? I haven't seen any of them lately. If that won't end as the YouTube exclusive, I'll be mad. Wait, they have? A good amount? Really? Maybe because I leave those in my videos a lot of times. But I don't know. And then Dulitha on the YouTube side to the TLSG. Like seeing you streaming so often now. And also I like your card competition and decks. Keep it up. Thank you so much, Dulitha. And then Cool Guy said, sometimes Arrow could be replaced with Jeff, etc. I try to get priority and have been winning on Kingpin plus Scream. Then Eliath or Cannonball. Eliath or Cannonball to finish it off. Yeah. Is that the snap wins? Is that the snap wins you the game? I'm not sure I understand, Dulitha. Carne, you said top 100? Yeah, so we started at top 100, to be fair. I think I started at like top 88. So we've been hovering right around there. Scream looks fun. I rolled my only 2 caches and missed her. Oof. Considering buying her if I don't get enough caches before rollover. Hopefully you get enough before rollover. Why did you decide to leave Kraven out? Kraven always ended up feeling underwhelming. So I initially had Kraven in place of Jeff. and it felt like I wanted more control over where I wanted my cards to go. So like if I put Craven in the Kingpin lane, or even Craven outside of the Kingpin lane, that gave them targets to fill up, versus only having one. Typically, if you have Kingpin down, you can guarantee that they'll play a card there to fill it up, and you can Juggernaut out of that lane. And so it makes it a little bit easier to kind of read what the opponent is intending to do, rather than having it spread out and split across multiple. What deck got you top 100? So I ran the U.S. Agent, not the U.S. Agent. Oof. I ran the Agent Venom Hit Monkey style of deck is what got me to Infinite, and it actually got me top 24 last night, and then overnight, several people ended up getting into that range. So I'm considering just doing Kingpin here. After that, we can start working on like Polaris to pull Echo over some of those. The Luke Cage, they're not going to be negatively afflicted. So now it's just looking at like potentially being that clutter piece and cluttering them up entirely. So let's go Polaris. Next turn, maybe White Widow mid so that we can push for having this lane be completely filled. We can also go Stegron if we draw into it next turn. That way, whatever they play here will push over. Can you show the agent list after this? Yeah, we can show the agent list. And so Shadow King with the Shadow King abilities, unfortunately. I know that we drew Stegron. We could always go like White Widow, move Jeff, and then see if we cap them out with like a Spider-Man. I don't like it. You can try Spider-Man into Isle of Silence. Ooh, Spider-Man the Luke Cage. We could. Steg might hit Luke though. Oh, I was thinking Stegron in the left.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
But we will pull the Shadow King over and then Iron Man in mid, but they don't have anything else that they can play there. So they are pretty restricted. We did get very, very lucky with the Miles Morales. We don't have initiative, or else we could yank the Iron Man over into the Isle of Silence and just giggle our way to victory. So it could be like a Stegron, Miles Morales right type of game. If we slap Luke Cage, perfect. If we slap Iron Man, perfect. We will grab the 1 cube against Saya, and we'll Saya later. Sayonara? See you later. I don't know. There wasn't a good one there. I tried to make it happen. Arrow into his Isle of Silence if we had initiative. So we didn't have initiative going into that turn, so Arrow would have hit whatever they dropped last. Scream is 212 max. So if you drop her on 2-2, or on turn 2, she's a 2-2. On turn 3, you move a card. She's a 2-4, 2-6. Turn 4, turn 2-10. I think she's like a 2-18 if you're including the affliction she provides. I think it's 2-18 or something like that. Because she not only steals it and buffs herself, but she takes it from them. So I think raw power is probably. You said discuss Arrow versus Cannonball. So with this deck, I haven't been able to like full cap lanes all the time. And so sometimes Hostile Visaya Terminator. That's exactly how I saw it in the movie too. So for this one, since we don't always have them capped out in lanes, sometimes Cannonball, and a lot of times we have priority. So sometimes Cannonball felt pretty risky. Number 4 on the leaderboards, yeah. Sometimes Cannonball felt risky because it would be inconsistent with what we would hit. Sometimes they would fill it in with something bigger after it went off. And so Arrow, on the other hand, if we have priority, we can dictate and choose what pulls and where. So they lose their Shadow King. We lost Arrow, unfortunately. We can try for Spider-Man, potentially push into Space Throne. Actually, I guess we could fill it in later with a Jeff, because I think this was Cerebro 4, if I remember correctly.
Spider-Man here.
Guess what? I guess we'll find out. We may need to play Jeff mid. But the bad thing is Stegron can't move any other cards, so we can't buff up the scream. We'll never be able to hear the screams. Let's go ahead and play Jeff in mid. We lost our arrow, so that's a bad piece. Drawing Polaris could be okay, but it might also pull Agent Venom, right?
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
I don't like any of this. Because if Polaris pulls in from Grand Central, we clear up their Space Throne. Unfortunate. But I guess we could go Polaris. It pulls Venom out. There's a chance that Stegron slaps it back. And there's also a chance that Bast pulls. So we're gonna roll the dice with Polaris. Hope that it hits Bast. Fortunately, it hit Agent Venom. Now what we're hoping for is Stegron to come down in Grand Central, to push over into mid. That is the vision. And of course it is the Magneto. No.
The future.
All right, well, we might be cooked. They do have a lot of cards. Oh, man. I feel like we needed to take that risk. We had two 50-50s that had to clear to be able to lose that one. The first 50-50 was Venom versus Bast. The second one was Magneto versus Stegron. We lost both of them, unfortunately. And so I think with that, we give them the game. I don't see her staying like this, honestly. Yeah, for me, the fact that you don't have to like target any of the lanes that she gets that power scaling from is wild. So like the Kingpin, very difficult to use because it has to be that particular lane. With the a Kraven or other like merged card, it has to be particular lane for him to scale. So it's crazy that she is like just in all cases, better Kraven for the most part. And then I missed a couple of subs. Blah 8394. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. And then Drake Manny. Drake. Thank you so much for the resub for 3 months at tier 1. You said it's been 3 months already. It has. It's been a great 3 months, and here's to looking at 3 more in the near future.
Escaped.
Got Scream with the only key you had. Drake, that is a huge pull. I was lucky enough to get a 1-tap on it as well. He said also, can I plan a prediction on a variant split? Yeah, I'm gonna do one more game and then we can do one on it. Chaos Hat, you said Scream is currently not that strong. I'd be surprised if she's changed. I think right now we're seeing a lot of flood stuff that really kind of limit how strong she can be. Being better Kraven is incredibly low bar. Well, not even just better Kraven, but just how much better than Kraven she is, I think is why that bar is where it's at. Also, I bought Thena with tokens. Thena's a good pull. Thena is one that, with all the mid-range stuff that we have, is always pretty a pretty solid choice. And Chu, you said, but she's way better than Kraven. Yeah. And I get that opening up her restrictions because her proc is a little bit more restrictive than Kraven. Kraven is any card that moves, and multiple times per game. With Scream, it's only the opponent's cards, but it gives her a very unique kind of identity. So Gladiator, we pulled a Stegron, unfortunately. Valka, the slept on card. At 5 cost, she always felt clunky in most of my hands, so I wasn't able to do a whole lot with her. I feel like they're probably going to continue playing in the big house if they can. They didn't. They played in Mindscape, which we could have hit, potentially knocking it over into the big house Tinker's Workshop, but we missed it. Use her in your Agent Venom deck you showcased? You did, or wait, Valkyrie? No. Scream? Oh, Thena. Goodness. I don't know. I apologize that it took me so long to figure out what we were talking about. No, Athena's a great one in there. I'm kind of like 50-50 between Athena and Havoc in that deck. Do we play against Mill? haven't played Mill. Oh, right now? Maybe. It might also just be a value deck. With all of the Agent Venoms running around, Gladiator is usually a pretty decent or safe bet versus when we're running into like a lot of Hellas and things like that. We can arrow the Sage to the left. That way Scream triggers. And then maybe Magneto mid next turn. Kind of funny how we basically get the same man featured twice this month. Agent Venom and Anti-Venom. That's in the comic book line. They're the same person. So with Wave, we can do 2 cards. We have a player's, I think we do Magneto so that we solidify this mid lane. Then we can do something like a Jeff, and we can move it to the left or right as needed. I'm a little bit scared about how much they can do, because they did want to extend the game. So maybe they have a Shang-Chi. Maybe Shang-Chi and Shadow King. And the Say Win said, heard the good news. Congrats on shedding the corporate collar. Thank you so much. I'm very, very excited. I turned in my notice. We have just a couple of weeks left, and I couldn't be more excited. So we can go Spider-Man. He bounces over to the right, pulls magic with him. So that's a -4 on magic. It becomes a -4 power magic, a buff up on Scream, and then Polaris has nothing else to pull. And so then we should be safe in the right, safe in mid, and I think we're safe to have won the game, but we'll see. Now it looks like Sarah Surfer. Ooh. So if they do Surfer, 2/4, do we need to put like a Polaris mid? This would go up to 18 if they did somehow Surfer plus Absorbing Man. It'd be a +8, so it'd go up to 22. This would bring us to 22 for a tie. When's the official full-time content creator date? So technically I'm going to be streaming from now on. But I turned in my notice. My last day there is the 18th. But I'm doing half days until the 18th. Anti-Venom is a spawn from the Venom symbiote. Makes sense. Both are Flash Thompson. Wait. I had no idea that Flash became anything other than the goofy guy. The kind of feature in in Spider-Man. Well, the more you know. None of these work for us, so we'll go ahead and... Yeah, the bully. Yeah. They're not both Flash Thompson. They gave Flash such a good story within the last 10 years? Really? And then Kappa Mikey said, yeah, congratulations, TLC. Been a wonky 2 years, but we're finally living that live streamer guy dream. We absolutely are. It has been a very unique 2 years, but I wouldn't trade it for anything. Cozy made a video on Agent Venom. Yeah. I know that he has that separate channel that I've been watching those in passing, because he's releasing like who is, or like the full story, or who is for each of the characters, which I think is really cool. Hey TLC, what's the thoughts on Scream? I enjoy Scream. If you can get her down early, she can really start scaling and doing a lot of really good power output throughout the game. And so I've been enjoying her quite a bit. Then Volker, he said, hey TLC, what's the thoughts on Scream so far? Wait, I just read that all. Wasn't one of the bounties Magneto and Juggernaut? Ooh, was it? Fail or burn. I'll check it out right after this. So let's... I feel like we take kind of a bypass turn. We play Kingpin. We can position a Juggernaut in the raft next turn to push the cards away, buff up our Scream, and then we have Polaris after that. Let's try that. If they play 2, they will get the raft bonus before the cards get pushed out, and so then they'll have space to play, but I think that may be fine. Then Flash becomes an anti-hero. And then Angel, I see the ad reminder. I may hit the last snooze if I have to. I guess I'll start saving for next month. She said I don't need to try on the next week with Red Guardian. Do you already have Red Guardian? So Collector, Venom coming down at 4 power, and then Rocket coming out down at -1. I'd assume that they could bounce those back in. But do we ever... I assume that they do like a beast here this turn. So I feel like it might be a good shot or good idea to do like a Polaris and maybe a White Widow left, and really just start cluttering all of their stuff. Scream will keep scaling. Yeah. Oh, I missed the snooze. I apologize, you guys. We're gonna have an ad run at the end of the game, or towards the end of the game, and then Le Diable, you said, hey TLSG, what deck did you use to climb Infinite? I used an Agent Venom Hit Monkey Bounce, the one that I featured yesterday on YouTube. Ardrick, you said, I love Scream, but I think I'll skip the rest of the symbiotes and save up for the cool cards in the Thor season. Thor has some really cool ones coming up too. And so Stegron slaps Hood over as long as they don't have a Viper. Then Magneto. Maybe it's Magneto here. No, they're gonna fill the they're gonna fill the lanes. They're gonna fill the board. But we're gonna get the retreat. It looks like we were able to surpass the ad limit, and so it's still working on starting up. We're gonna run to a quick ad break, and then we will jump into. There's a quick sponsored portion. So this stream is sponsored by Factor. So I'm gonna do a quick plug here in just a minute. But first we'll do the ad break. And then we'll be right back, you guys. Don't go anywhere. Said got Scream in one key. I think she's pretty good. Yeah, I agree. Anthony, you said you're awesome, man. Chill, and I always enjoy your banger streams. Thank you so much, Anthony. Thank you for being here and hanging out for a bit. Scream looks like fun. I rolled my only 2 caches and missed her. Oh, yeah. Should I prep the prediction? Yeah, you can. And then the Magneto Juggernaut bounty. Let's see. It may be gone. Oh wait, we are running both of those. Thank you for calling that out. That's such an easy one that I overlooked. So we'll take that one. That's good passive ability to complete these. When you start streaming full time, will you also play other games from time to time? I hope to eventually. What I want to do at first is build out the viewership on the streams and on Snap, and then maybe. I do some alternate stuff here and there. But I want to primarily do Snap, at least for a little bit. Maybe we start sprinkling in some Pokemon Pocket, and then if anything else big comes up, maybe we check that out too. Then Mighty Mo, welcome in. We might do gamble for variant split, winning next match. It's up to you, Angel. How are we doing on the numbers, TLSG? Maybe we hit the number your wife originally wanted. We're pushing closer and closer to that. So we won't see any major fall off for another like 2 weeks for like the sub amounts, and we're at 1,104. So there's a chance that we maybe meet that original goal that my wife had set out. Twitch chat build your deck win. That is also something I want to do at some point, Georgie. JJ Rolk has an add-on that it's like a chat-driven draft, which I definitely want to look at and use sometime. I think it's really fun for just like an engaging way to like engage with you guys and have kind of a fun, like, not so serious stream. So the shop reset should be, is it now? No, not quite. We have another 20 seconds. Did you name it Agent Monkey? No, I think I named it Deck 20. Sadly. I don't think I even gave it a name. No, yeah, it's just Deck 20. It's a good old Deck 20. It didn't even get a name, which is sad. Have you ever thought about doing like viewer tourneys? That might be possible. So what is it? What will our next split be? Gold, Ink, Kirby, or others? Okay, so we can run a split real fast. We'll split one of these cards, and while we're doing that, let's see. I'll pull up one that we've split several times. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're gonna split miles, and so that you know, ink, Kirby, gold are all possible on it. And so that's the one that I'm gonna split. You can make your choices off of that, because if we split a brand new card, of course it's gonna be other. This one at least has a chance of being one of those better splits. And then AJ, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great one. L. Dane said, did you get the OBS issue sorted? I don't know. I am just not switching scenes to make sure that I don't freeze. So I'm worried about doing it. You said betting all 5K on gold. we have just a couple more seconds, and I'm gonna split this one. We're gonna split this new one, and I'll go ahead and upgrade it, but I won't pop the split until after the time is over.
Infinity.
Just gonna say Scream is worth 6K. I think she's definitely usable, but I don't know if I'd say worth 6K yet. I think she's decently strong, but she's not super flexible. So I don't think you're just gonna see her in just a wide variety of builds. I think it's a very niche build she goes in. And so, all right, we'll go ahead and split it, see if we get gold, ink, Kirby, or an other here. That is a prism. Not a good one. Sorry, I let you guys down. That is some bad luck, because we've split him a large number of times here. And still no such luck. I'm sorry, store manager. I'm so sorry. So we have the new store. They do have a new bundle, which I think this one, just off of my quick head math, I think it's the same as using your credits, because it's a 1.25 credit per gold spent, right? We're doing just the conversion. Oh no, it's... Oh, that's awful, right? Yeah, that's awful. That's like a negative value, if I'm not mistaken. Because 5,000 gold down here gets you a higher amount of credits. So like you're getting more credits than what you spent in gold. This one is, unless you just need Black Knight, that's awful. So bad. Always trust the data analyst. I mean, if you're just loving Black Knight, or if you love that variant, maybe. Yeah, it's Series 5. I mean, okay. So if you're missing it from Series 5, maybe it's worth it to kind of help your collection, because that's essentially going to be your 6,000 tokens. But if you already have Black Knight, trash. Ultimate Killmonger variant keeps looking at me when it's in the shop. The Ultimate Killmonger variant looks so sleek. I don't use Killmonger enough, and there's no way I'm spending 5,000 tokens on it. But yeah. It's the peach art tax. Yeah, I can see that. Then as far as the variants, we do have a new Mobius. I'm not a huge fan of this one, of this Mobius variant. Oh, that's a Spotlight one, isn't it? It's 24. We also have the Scream variant, which I do like this one. The way that it has the like rain particles, I think looks pretty cool, but not 1,200 gold worth. Minimized Hell Cow. Yeah, that's also a solid one. And then I kind of like this Medusa one. I never use Medusa, so I would never buy it, but I do kind of like this one. I think it looks pretty sleek. The Venomized version of her. You're thinking of spending it on Venomized M'Baku? I can count on probably one hand how many times I've used M'Baku. You have the Winter Soldier Ultimate in the shop. I don't have it in the shop right now, but I have seen it. That one looks really cool as well. If it was super rare, I would already have a God Split on it. Yeah. I quite like the Nightforge bundle variants. Yes. Like both of these look look really cool. Like the Mobius. Great. Not a whole lot of like extra stuff going on with it, so it's just like a good base art. I do like the Killmonger a lot. Like I like the energy particles like popping off of him. I think that looks incredibly sleek. Not $100 worth of sleek. And you do get 6,000 collector's tokens, which I think they value at around $50, as well as 6,000 gold. So in general, it's not an awful 6,000 gold is around $60 or $70 worth of like just flat buying gold. So it's not an awful value, but it's just a huge price point to ask for. So then you also get the new borders, which I think are kind of a cool flex, but also not going to drop $100. Only $100. What a bargain. Yeah. Yep. Have you tried the Agent Venom Viper Destroyer deck? I haven't, Christian. I haven't seen it floating around. And so, actually, before we jump into any games, I'll jump into a game here in just a second. But before we do, this entire stream is sponsored by Factor. This is the second time that I've picked up a sponsorship from them. I enjoyed it enough the first time that I was really excited to be able to order and get a second box to be able to check out some of the additional things that they have. The meals are very quick to make, so like if you're returning to office, if you're coming home from working half days at the office, coming home and doing a stream, they're really easy to prep, really easy to heat up. And for it being a microwavable meal, I honestly can't tell. So like usually with microwavable stuff, the like chicken is very dry, very rubbery. Same thing with noodles. But all of these have been fantastic. We actually have one. My wife brought it to me because I was hungry. So I can't switch the scenes. So it's just going to be like a small little preview. Today we have chicken Florentine with some cauliflower as well. And I like that they all have some kind of vegetable and then typically a meat base, which I'm a little bit bigger on chicken. But if you like pork, if you like steak, if you like shrimp, they have those options as well. But I stick with the good old chicken because that is what I lean towards. If you do end up wanting to check it out, if you use my link, it is a 50% off of your first Factor box and then 20% off of the next month's order. And so the link is going to be popping up in the chat throughout the stream. And I'm going to munch on the yummy Factor. The coolest thing that I like about this Factor ship, or that this Factor sponsorship, I guess it's a Factor ship. The coolest thing that I like about it is the integration is super kind of low push. So I don't have to do anything super lengthy. I'm able to just sit back, enjoy the food, and then play the game that we all came to watch. And so the big plug is over, the big push. If you do order one using my link, it does help support me and support the channel, support that transition to full-time. But we're going to go ahead and jump over into a few more games. And in the meantime, I'll munch on the chicken Florentine and see how that one is. Wait, Astrid M is the hot location? Ah, man. That makes recording footage for like spotlights really hit and miss. Because if it's like a really impactful one, then it doesn't feel like the deck is doing all the work so much as like the location. You said Astrid M as a hot location is like buy Scream, enjoy the suffering. Yeah. Then Scotty said, hello, feels weird to be in the YouTube chat and not Twitch chat. Scotta, welcome in on the YouTube side. He said, are you able to find games? Because I can't. Ooh, let's see. I have been, unless something at like the shop rollover changed. It's a cool variant, but why is it already the fourth time Man-Thing is in the spotlights? I think it comes down to licensing, that they have licensing for those arts versus something like Howard, which I don't think they have very much of. And so, honestly, I think that's one of the reasons why Howard remains a lackluster card, is that I don't think they have as many as many various artworks to showcase for him to be able to offer. Okay, is he Series 3 now? But as far as when he was in the caches, I think he only came to the caches like one time that I saw. So typically when you come to the cache, you have to have like a new set of artwork. And so I think that's also a limitation on when those cards roll into being featured in the caches that they go into. Yeah, but he got the drop. So he doesn't need it now, but he very rarely was in the caches. And it's almost like they didn't really think through the spotlight variant concept. Yeah, a little bit maybe. Let's go White Widow. Or we go Kingpin. Kingpin's great here. We have priority, so even if they do like an Aranya move and it pull into Asher M, we get the benefit. Swordmaster has a great amount of variance, but bad card. Yeah, Swordmaster, even with the change to discarding odd cards, it's just a bad one, unfortunately. So we could pull a card out of Asteroid M so that maybe when they play something, it pulls over. We could also try to just cap it out with White Widow. Try to hit them with a potential Juggernaut. But I'm going to do some disruption with Polaris instead. I remember there was an artist in Twitter said that they didn't get paid for one of their artworks in the game. I know that they don't get like residuals, if I'm remembering correctly. I think it was like residuals that they didn't get. It was like a flat amount for creating it, and then that was kind of it. Yeah, it's because they got paid by Marvel for the art, not necessarily like it's not their art. Marvel paid them to create it, and so they don't have like the full ownership. I think is along the lines of what it was. So we could go ahead and move their strong guy, but he does get pretty strong. They just don't get additional compensation. Yeah. So it's just like a flat amount. But why won't they just sell those variants in the shop and give us an actual Series 5 in the spotlights? Him and Mobius make the spotlights seem worth a while. Yeah. Okay, that was huge. We moved the strong guy. Symbiote pulled over, got the negative affliction here. And then we could actually pull it back over. Pull Symbiote away from here and back over to the right, which I think is kind of funny. Either that or we pull it to the left. And maybe do something like that. Shouldn't Juggy win the game? Yeah, he should probably win the game. You're probably right. I mean, they do have... Maybe not. They have Black Swan activate. 4 cards in hand. They may get Hitmonkey down. Just deny them right, and we're good to go. Maybe. Try it. You guys are probably right.
Victory.
And then Mo, you said, I always hated how people said Howard should be Series 3 because he is bad. Yeah, honestly, I feel like series drops should happen based on how long they've been out, not how good they are. I think that would be the fairest way to be able to make those drops happen consistently. Would be just like on a rotating basis. Series drops, yeah. So like dropping from 5 to 4. They don't happen very often, so I'm not surprised you don't know what they are. But the economy, but they're surging more stuff into the economy. So for new players, it's impossible to ever catch up. And I think one extra card when they start, I don't know that would really fix, because there's so many Series 4 and Series 5 cards now, that I don't know that it would really make a big difference. It's like a drop in the water. I think they need to like re-envision how the system works altogether. Next up, we have the Sorcerer Supreme. Do get good old Kingpin. That's how it was until Hawk. Yeah. Yep. Once Hawk, they were like, nope, it's too good. We can sell more bundles. I'm pretty certain. And so then they kind of held him back because he was too strong. How long ago was the Miles season pass? It was before global release, so like almost 2 years ago, probably a year and like 10 months, I would guess. Unless the game makes it easier on new and returning players. Yeah. Yep. That's exactly what I feel like. Don't care. Is that unless they somehow like change it to entice people to come back, like once they've left. So right now with Hearthstone, I haven't played it in a year. If I was to load it up, there's probably a like welcome back. Here's all of this stuff to kind of get you going. Plus you have like your older stuff that is rotated out that you can dust and create at least like 1 or 2 good cohesive decks. You don't have anything like that for Snap. You log back in and it's like spend some money, which definitely does not feel great. They did do a free Kitty Pride, but that was because they messed it up so badly that they had to deactivate it for like a month. Miles was global release? I thought Black Panther was global release for some reason. Since they have Scream down and we don't, makes me want to scream. This moves and then moves again, so Scream is going to get benefit. Catch-up mechanic would be nice, but the people that have the stuff love to complain about other people getting it easier. Honestly, I wish people would get it easier. That would make it so much easier to like recommend the game to other people, or just it would make it much easier to just for it to exist well for a longer period of time. Thoughts on the Scream variant? I like the Scream variant. For 1,200 gold, probably not. So the Polaris, unfortunately, the Cassandra Nova, I think was a good touch for them, because we can't do anything to the left lane. Otherwise, it's like Polaris Spider-Man. But I doubt that's enough either. You said same. Doesn't seem 1,200 worthy. Yeah. Yeah, the lack of animation. Like even at full upgrade, it doesn't feel... I don't know. 1,200 is a lot of gold to be able to drop on it. It was the first full season after launch. Gotcha. That makes sense. Miles was like 1.5 weeks. I forgot. Because it launched and then Snap released like 3 weeks later was the official launch.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
So Miles or Spider-Man popping Sable back and forth. It's gonna be rough. It's gonna get the double negative affliction. I was sorely tempted by those Venomized variants. Yes, they looked really sleek, but I can't. Oh, I forgot Scream was 2 cost. Woof. And we pulled Kingpin, which is going to negatively slap Spider-Man again. Oh, well. They had a good game. I had a very good game with Scream. Storm Energy said, I feel like this game would just work if they just drop series every 2 to 3 months. Yeah. Yep, if they did it on a rolling time basis, then returning players could get those cards that people that were paying or had been playing actively had access to for cheaper, which then helps them get back up to speed faster into like the new territory realm. Is Scream worth getting? I really like Scream. I think she's limited in where she can be built. So it's very much into like Juggernaut, Polaris, Stegron style stuff. But I think she's pretty good for what she is. Her being able to be impacted in every single lane, I think is pretty cool. Georgie, you said, as a relatively new player, I've just conceded. I'll never have all the cards, but it's easy enough to acquire keys. The key ones if you plant, yeah. And so as a new player, you have to really play into the like slow play of it rather than being able to like get up to speed unless you're going to spend a lot of money. Fanny said, love this game, but I've spent 10 keys on the last 4 cards. Sable, Madam Web, Aranya, Scarlet, and Scream, and I've missed on all. Ooh. So typically, not that this makes it any better for you, but typically I won't even try to pull unless I have 4 keys. That way I can guarantee that I'm going to get the card. Otherwise, you might get super unlucky like it sounds like you got. Not that that makes it any better necessarily. I think they play into mid. If it goes right, we destroy their card. If it goes left, they're almost full capped in expansion. Or they could not play anything on 3. That works too. Wow. That's a big destroyer. I guess we got Emperor Hulkling, so that's something as well. Polaris will pull their Agent Venom. It gets negatively afflicted, and then once again, they always have to play, I think, an expansion this turn. Let's go Silver Sable left. Ad break. Thank you for the reminder, Angel. Be like SC. Do you think Mobius and Man-Thing are worth the keys? Mobius is one that he's not always super relevant, but there's a lot of times where he is like core in stopping the opponent from doing certain things. And so Chu said they're both Series 4. Ooh, that's true. They're both Series 4, aren't they? I think they're good cards. Man-Thing, to some extent, is. He can be used in like affliction style builds really well now, especially at 4/7 with the increase in his affliction. I think he's in a pretty good spot. But if he's worth the keys, I don't know. It's hard to tell. It depends on what kind of decks you like to play, really. They're probably going to flood on the last turn, maybe? Or maybe they have Shang-Chi. I'm going to do Scream, Jeff. I'm going to hold Miles in hand. Next turn, we can go Arrow plus Miles. Because otherwise, we won't have anything to drop alongside the Arrow. With Sarah. Sarah is unfortunate. Yeah. I think we lose this one. They always probably have maybe Shang-Chi. If we had a Juggernaut, maybe. Jump out of it. Best new card this season? Season pass card? It's the Bast new card. So it's very similar to Bass, is why I thought that was punny. And it's good. Like it's good for like mid-range decks that want to run things like Iron Man. It makes him viable again. Things like Mystique, it can really help like push those power levels up. So I think he's very, very usable. And then Boopin said Pixel M'Baku time, baby. Let's go ahead and switch the avatar to Pixel M'Baku. And I'm actually gonna maybe pivot decks here. With the featured location being movement, I feel like Scream is a little bit too maybe known, or like the ideal, so people are either running it or running counters to it, I imagine. But we're gonna go negative here for a minute. Man-Thing is worth spinning extra keys if you have Ajax, but it's meh outside of that. Yeah, you can use it outside of that, but it's not as like potent. It's really good with Ajax. And then URLs, congratulations on meeting your sub goal. Thank you so much, URLs. Brand Dummy said, what card are you most excited about this season? Toxin. I think for like a bounce style deck, Toxin is Incredible. Now, I do see we have a name origin. So I'll tell it right after we finish this one. You have Ravona. And so if we go to turn 7, we can still get both Sage and Taskmaster down on turn 7 with the Ravona discount. People can talk all they want about the probabilities, but there are some cases where force haste happens almost every time. I 4-tapped 13 out of 15 new cards. Ooh, boosty, that is tough. And it always feels really bad, especially when stuff like that does happen. Like the probabilities are there, but it's still tough to be put into that position. That whale bundle got that value. That well bundle did have some good value. I can't bring myself to spend 100 on it, but it did have some good value. We get Taskmaster. I feel like maybe we go ahead and play either Cassandra or like an Iron Man. I'll do Cassandra. We're still hoping for maybe Mr. Negative. Wong is also a great setup for us to be able to do Sage Taskmaster as that turn 7 play.
I am Iron Man.
JR, you said my origin was that he has always been a loyal streamer and creator. So the loyal streaming gentleman. I do have one that will go through right after we finish this one. And then again is 17. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. That pushes us to 10 for the day, and it brings us up to 1,103. And so we are making some really good strides. This Venom is very scary. We're getting some good destruction in. We know how big their null will potentially get by the end of the game. We just have to know if we can go over the top of it. We do get Mystique. If we do Jane Foster, there's a pretty good chance we draw into Wong. It's a 50-50. On the final turn, we could do Wong for 2. We could do Mystique. We could do Ironheart. And then we could do Null as well. So I think we always Jane Foster here. They do get the Null. I doubt they go Arnim Zola. So we're hoping for the Wong pull. Beautiful. You'd never go Wong with it. So Wong, Mystique. The Ironheart is going to trigger 4 times, helping us win mid. And then we can go a Null of our own in the right. And then to Infinity. I was smiling because I thought it was a cute name, and then I finished it.
Hey, welcome.
To Infinity and your mom. Thank you for the Prime sub and the support as well. I was thinking beyond it, so I was smiling at the nostalgia. Why not Mystique Null? You could Mystique Null, but an extra 2 triggers of Ironheart is going to give out 12 as well. So maybe it's worth it to. Yeah, you're probably right. I think we do this instead. We do Null, we do Mystique, we let Ironheart trigger. She'll trigger 2 times, but we're very likely to be able to win all of them. X23 Arnim Zola. Okay, so the Arnim Zola in the left, in the right. Overkill in mid. They did get lucky with the Arnim Zola hit, but now, because the chat was playing more heads up than me, we do get the 24 here. From the Mystique, 27, and then Ironheart triggering. You guys gave me the way to win. gave me the key to the castle. He said, "No problem, nice stream. Thank you so much to Infinity." I was just saying, I was taken by surprise about your by your name. And so with To Infinity's Prime sub, that does push us into a hype train. I think it's the second one of the day. But for the name origin, so I used to work in a very well-known sandwich shop, and like me and it was a college town, and so there were a very specific set of customers as it got later on. And I worked the later part of the shift, and there was this group of guys that would come in. They were very much under the influence of something. Who am I to say what? But they were enjoying their lives, and so they were very friendly, and they were always really hungry for their Subway sandwiches. And so I would be putting them together, and we would chat back and forth, and they came in so many times or so often as I worked that late shift. And it started to become a habit of when they came in, they were like, "You make the best sandwiches. Your sandwiches are legendary." And so one of the times that one of the guys thought it was super funny that they would call me the legendary sandwich guy, that I was making the best or the most elite sandwiches that they had. And for whatever reason, I thought it was really funny. It was just one of those things that you kind of, as a college kid, you kind of take in stride. And so whenever I went home or was creating my next username, I kind of chuckled at turning that into an acronym of TLSG, or the legendary sandwich guy. And that is the origin of the name TLSG, the one true origin. There's a lot of rumors out there of what it could be, but that is the one true one. I feel like you shouldn't have shortened it. just kept it as the legendary sandwich guy. That'd be a good one too. Just have it full length. Oh wait, I did that when ads were in progress? Oh man. Well, that was bad. Now I kind of want Subway. I mean, it's a marketing genius. You want to know what sandwich they always ordered? They always ordered the most basic sandwiches. Like I know for a fact that me making them did like nothing to the quality, because it was just like the turkey and American. Like, it was the most basic sandwich. And then Nemo, you said, when is the 60 day of playing Snap gonna release? So 60 days is out. I lost the footage for 60 to 100. So I recorded up to day 90. I recorded up to day like 98, and before I got a chance to edit the footage, I lost my hard drive crashed, and I lost the footage. And so I'm waiting for some kind of meaningful change before re-recording and starting over fresh. And then Chaos Hat, you said it concerns me how nice and happy you seem, and yet you're so able to casually. Who said anything about lying about my name origin? and you play Dex that a serial murderer wouldn't choice, so we should be afraid. I can't confirm or deny. Chaos Hat, I can't confirm or deny what should happen there. Store manager, you said I worked at Subway twice, once in PA and one when I was 16 and once in Wyoming. How was it? It wasn't an experience that I particularly hated, but I also didn't like enjoy it all that much. As a younger kid, it wasn't bad. Like, it was definitely an okay job. Now I want to taste those sandwiches. You said the video was the reason you started playing. Yeah, so I want some kind of like significant change that, like before doing the next version, I want to re-record it and start it over since I didn't get to do like a full official ending. But I need some kind of like right now. I actually reran it for 30 days, took notes along the way, and honestly, nothing has changed between last year and now, other than now you want to engage with the booster shop. That's the only change. And Sleeper, you said, hey, TLSG, I heard a big gifter to the Snap community did a huge chargeback claiming fraud. Yeah. Yep, I got hit by $400, or just under $400. It was like $390. Just under $400 with the chargeback thing that was going around, unfortunately. Been trying to work Scream work with Ajax. Anything there? I mean, there might be. So with like Scream going some like light movement, but it feels like it requires too much versus like just being able to do hazmat Ajax. Did that chargeback? We don't know for sure. I don't think, but I have a pretty good idea, which is unfortunate, but it is what it is. Wait, could be pretty good. Big Cassandra Nova into big Taskmaster, maybe. That's not awful. Unless they have a Shang-Chi or Shadow King, which they might. Looking at it as a Hitmonkey deck, with them running Invisible Woman, maybe they do. Go ahead and see. Switch them. Cassandra's going to be bigger. Because of Lechugia. Otherwise, yeah, you should switch them. They skipped. I feel like we're very susceptible to the counterplays, and this deck looks like it is probably one that runs those. Oh, no, you're okay. It was because of Lechugia. Is why their deck was so big. I was here the day Cables was throwing around all those subs. Big sad. Yeah. And what I'm telling people is it does stink. Oh, Shadow King, yeah. It does stink that it happened. It's a pretty decent amount of money. It's nothing to like scoff at. But at the same time, we really don't know what was going on. So I've heard he was a senior vice president, all these things. We don't know what was going on or what like led to that chargeback. And so like if he did it intentionally, I definitely feel bad or am mad at it. There may be something going on behind the scenes that we don't know about. And so I always try to keep that in mind. It sucks that it happened, but we kind of move on and keep going. Wonder if he was using frauded cards or something. Maybe either that or like made the claim that somebody else got a hold of them, or some kind of like big emergency may have happened. To the chat logs. So I haven't looked that far into it to see like the chat logs or things. And so I don't know. I like to. I mean, at this point, like getting frustrated and digging super deep into it, I don't know that it is going to resolve anything. I'm glad that its guest compiled like all of the information, put it out there for on Twitter for like to get the attention of Twitch, because they can actually do something about it like moving forward. But as far as like where we're at, I don't know. Digging into it any further, I don't know that it doesn't help or resolve anything. That he was bragging in chat about he was going to charge back. I did read that, but I didn't read the actual chats, and so then I kind of like stepped away and put it down. But either way, I think it's an unfortunate situation that happened, and not a whole lot we can do about it now. And then on the YouTube side, Warcry, you said, do you know how many spotlight keys we get a month? Doing all the daily stuff. So the spotlight keys, I want to say that it's, for some reason, the number like 1.6 a week stands out in my mind. For whatever reason, 1.6 is like the number that my head's going to, which would be about 6 if you're doing like everything. If you're hitting infinite, if you're maxing out conquest, if you are probably doing like the contribution in an alliance to be able to get like 300 to 400. 2 to 3 depends on how many credits you can bring in. So I'm sure it's closer to 10k per key. Yeah. It's not 2.5 a week. No, not 2.5 a week. I was thinking 1.6 a week. But that's like looking at everything. So maxing out your conquest currencies, maxing out your daily and weekly, like pushing your gold that you get towards progression. Angel, you said you have that number in your head too? it's a strange one for sure. So Man Thing, unfortunate. And they did snap. We can always go Mystique, throw in a magic. But they could be doing something that like takes away. So it could be Red Guardian. I feel like we may be seeing a lot of Red Guardian right now. I'm going to stick it out for this. Guardian? Yeah, might be Guardian. Especially with tempo. Big hazmat. Yeah, Red Guardian. Crack. What's the key to token ratio? Ooh, that one I don't know. Because right now, the tokens you get are kind of like abysmally small.
Escape.
I thought we were going to be cheeky and beat all the Scream stuff with negative. But we've been bleeding cubes. I just settled on an archetype and went all in for that with the free series 3 cards every month. Focused into that. Yeah. The faster you can build and buy like a really cohesive like end game deck, the easier like playing and completing your weeklies will be, or playing and getting your bounties done. So I'd say find an archetype that you like early on. It doesn't have to be the most competitive, just one that is decently competitive and can kind of hold its own against everything that's out there. Next up we have Prashan. Let's see if we can stop the bleeding. If we lose another one, I'm going to have to change my name. No longer going to be in the top 100. Destroy seems to be always in the meta. Yeah. Yep. Destroy has been in a spot where it's never not been strong since like Null and all of those cards released. Like it's been the same like 10 to 11 cards in that deck for the last like 6 months. So very, very strong one. We just need to hit TLSG's wife's original number. Happy wife, happy life. That's why the TLSG stands for tolerant, loyal, selfless, and giving. I mean, you hit it right on the head. I don't know. I don't think I've told anyone the true meaning of those letters, but you nailed it. We could do magic to extend the game. I think we do. Let's go ahead and try it. Well, magic left. We're gonna take away the asteroid M as well.
Spider-Man here.
X23 kind of needed some combo to happen, but I'm happy with what I got. Yeah, X23, once you have the rest of Destroy, it is really, really strong. We can either go Iron Man or maybe the Wong stuff. The Wong stuff may not be the right decision, knowing that they have some counter movement stuff. Okay, Juggernaut. Unfortunate. That is a 0 power Wong.
All systems go.
We might have to switch back to Scream. At least we were holding our own. I also haven't been getting very lucky with seeing Mr. Negative on these early games.
Opponent snapped.
Mr. Negative is one of those decks you kind of got to be patient with.
Escaped.
What about Agent Venom and Thor's deck? It would hurt Jane Foster and hurt an Odin and hurt an Odin as well. And so I like the idea of making the hammers 4. There's a lot of times I think it would be negative in the deck. Whoa, Kaboomer. What is the Miss Marvel minutes look for?
Victory.
What about Agent Venom in a negative deck? It could help for games that you don't hit negative, but I don't know that it would be enough to let them win still. And it would mean that you would have to go like Zabu instead of Ravona, so you wouldn't have that consistent like discount on like Sage Taskmaster, which sometimes having a Sage Taskmaster discounted to both use on turn 7 can be the difference between being able to like win a game or lose it. Maybe there's some build where it works. I think it's a decent idea, similar to why I used Bast in my deck yesterday. But I'm not sure how incredibly well it would work. I tried Agent Venom and Thor deck. It felt bad, but 4 power, yeah, 4 power hammers I think would always be fun. All right, so it's a Black Swan deck. They're looking to either clutter or go with like big bursty last turn stuff. For some reason I thought we had Mr. Negative in hand. About to snap this. Cassandra kicked out for Agent Venom in this one. Might be okay. The only time that would be a bad hit is like Cassandra is really good as your like 1 card win combo against like Arisham. But otherwise she's usually not priority for you to drop. And so she could probably be replaced. And so if it's after Mr. Negative, you probably wouldn't drop Agent Venom. If you did drop Agent Venom, you would have to be sure that you're not going Mr. Negative the rest of the game. Otherwise, it would break that combo. You nerf my big cards too often. Yeah. Yep. That would be my biggest fear when putting him with like ones that want to run Jane Foster or Odin. Throw the Mr. Negative, see what we hit. There's a chance that we pull into maybe Mystique. We can do Iron Man, Ironheart, Iron Man, Mystique. Ironheart. Big bishop to the right. Magic just does not do it for us. This would be our line, but it feels bad. I think I'm gonna go back to the Scream deck, see what we can make happen with it. I thought we'd be seeing a lot more of the Scream stuff, and I thought we could just go higher than what they can do, but it didn't pan out. That's all right. So we'll switch back to like a Scream style build.
Escaped.
Oh, we're supposed to switch. Let's go back to the Scream. We were doing decently with it at least. I feel like this always happened when I play negative. It feels like it's a turn too late. Yeah, it's one of those that you definitely have to be kind of patient on, and patient with, because if you're getting the bad draws, sometimes they're really, really bad. But we'll go ahead and pass on it. I still run Dracula Dump. Yeah, Dracula Dump is still really good. Mr. Negative is the 2-cube merchant. It can be. It could also be like the 4-cube if the opponent's playing passively or not passively, aggressively. Have you seen the Scream Surfer decks? I have not. It's an interesting idea though. So like Juggernaut, Polaris, Spider-Man all feed into Scream while being able to run Surfer later. Sounds like a cool idea. So Agent Venom is 1/2 is huge. Is untapped. So untapped is initially free. So like to download the tracker, it's free. To look at some of the basic stats, it is. But there is a premium version to be able to get access to like all of the stats. But if you're just wanting to download like the deck tracker, then it's absolutely free. I think we double up here. Next turn's probably Juggernaut in the vault.
Oh, snap.
How often do you play Magneto? I often feel Arrow or Cannonball plus Miles is a better last turn. So I had Cannonball in this for a while, but it felt like it was becoming a 50-50 gamble, and a lot of times I'll have priority going to the final turn. And so Cannonball a lot of times would move something smaller from the lane, and then they would backfill it with something bigger. And so I felt like I was most of the time not wanting to drop Cannonball even when I had it. How's the deck for you so far? I'm already tired of bounce. It's been doing pretty well. That's the deck. So the stats, I'm just under a 60% win rate with it, and that's post-infinite. Post-infinite within like the top 100. Just under 60% win rate, gaining an average of 0.59 cubes per game. So it's doing pretty well. Snap? All right, we'll go ahead and snap. I'm just not a fan of bounce personally. I don't mind bounce, but whenever bounce is super common, that's when I don't like bounce, because it becomes easier for the opponent to play around if they're building with the anticipation that it's going to happen. So I try to avoid it at that point. So they do have their Scream. That hurts us. Maybe we just set up like a kingpin. Feels bad though. Could always do like a Polaris. Yeah, I'm gonna do Polaris. Next turn might be like Kingpin Spider-Man. I don't know. I'm loving Scream, but I feel like I can't compete against Agent Venom bounce decks. I think it depends on how you get your draw, but I could see that being a possible or a real concern. So, Kingpin Juggernaut, maybe? They could have a Polaris here, maybe, as well. And us pushing their cards around, they're not going to get negatively afflicted, fortunately.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man
Miles,
here.
Spider-Man is not going to move any of her cards. You'll love to see it. Ad Brain Kid coming. Thank you so much, Angel. I don't really want to play Spider-Man because he will negatively, he'll hurt us. We could do White Widow, maybe Miles. Then look to do like a big Magneto on the last turn. But if they have Juggernaut, I guess that hurts us, doesn't it? We might be on the line for 8 cubes here. White Widow, ooh, White Widow Hazmat. So this is the, for the one that was in chat earlier saying they were trying to make something happen between Scream and Ajax. Might be the one for you. Fortunately, we already wasted our Juggernaut. Oh, this probably doesn't win. Sticker on left? We can't play left. It's flooded from the Eternals arc. But we can retreat now. Like we retreat out of this one. I think they just got a little bit too much on us. If they have the Ajax, did you snap or did they? I snapped on turn 1. We had a snap redemption and I snapped. So they didn't snap it. Just play it left. Okay. We'll play it left anyways. They could be not snapping because they do have a strong one and don't want me to retreat, trying to milk another 2. So I can redeem it. You can redeem it next time. That time I wouldn't have been able to snap. And then we do have a quick ad break coming up, so we're gonna jump over into that real fast, and then we'll be right back with a bit more gameplay. We have the hydrate reminder from Georgie. I appreciate it. I think I missed one a while back, so I'm gonna take another good one for the one that we missed along the way. Then we're gonna run to the ad break. And then we'll be right back. I redeemed it for the pumpers in chat. I mean, I'm not I'm not mad at you by any means. I'm not mad at you at all. If it got to the point where it was like really impacting my ability to play, I would remove it as an option. But it's not something like I don't typically think I'm gonna end at high rank for incredibly high rank, I guess. So like I'm not pushing for like top 10 or top 1. So post infinite, I just like to play and experiment. How long you want to stream? I'm gonna stream for another maybe hour and a half. Like hour and a half. No, probably more, closer to an hour and a half, 2 hours. I'm kind of building up and saving up for tomorrow. I don't want to do an incredibly long stream because tomorrow is going to be degenerate hours.
Opponent snapped.
Marcy said Stegron on turn 5 with Miles on right. Magneto on turn 6 would have won that game. Yeah, looking back in hindsight, it would have. Go with the Kingpin line. Ooh, an Angel claimed the snap, so it's going to be 4 immediately. Boofin, did you say I redeemed Snap and Splash Chast? Did you really? First impression of Scream. Scream is a pretty fun card. She scales pretty well, but I don't think she, like, the problem is once you see Scream, once you see Kingpin, it becomes pretty transparent, like what kind of deck you're running. And so if you have a deck that can play around it, then that gives them that information to be able to do so. Are there no content creators that switch over to Conquest once they hit Infinite? So for me, Conquest is so the matchmaking in Conquest is much more loose, and so a lot of times you're not running against as competitive of players. Like you're still running against decent players, but not necessarily the same as like top 100 or top 50. And so it's not as much of a challenge most of the time. Not saying it's not a challenge, but it's not as much for a lot of people. And so I think that's why a lot will stay on ladder.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
But yeah, Jeff does spend a lot of time in Conquest. And then Tall Guy, thank you so much for the tier 1 sub, pushing us to 1,107. I think we had a few drop off maybe. But appreciate the support. Appreciate you being here. Absolutely love having you here. So we could go like, I think if they play this turn, they go Juggernaut. Or they go mid into Weir Island. Push it out with Juggernaut, and then we throw like a Silver Sable. Yeah, the reason that I like ladder personally is you get a bigger variety of decks typically versus spending 30 minutes on like one matchup that's grinding back and forth. I think there's a different level of strategy once you like know the opponent's deck and try to like play around and beat that particular deck. But it doesn't feel as like you're not getting as much of a variety. So if you run into a bad matchup, it's a slog until you're done with that run. I don't want to be locked in with an Argent player for 20 minutes. True. So true. So Sarah coming down. We do have Magneto. With them having a Limbo, they extended the game. We can go like Magneto left. Pull the magic again. Their magic is going to be -4. We're slingshotting that thing all over the place. On the last turn, we can do both like Stegron and Spider-Man. I think it's pretty cool.
We are the future.
So the Splat Cook is so cool. Is it really? I'm curious how it...
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Onslaught. And then Oi Kisama. And then thank you so much for resubbing with your Prime sub for the 2nd month. And then NMRRS. Thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support as well. That pushes us almost to Hype Train level 2. So I think we go... Jeff move... We throw like a Spider-Man to pull one of these away. Ideally the Onslaught. And then we slap a card into mid with Stegron. That way their magic doesn't get... It could be a Living Tribunal deck, I guess, with the Sarah Onslaught. You said, yeah, you will see. Yeah, the poor magic is getting cooked for sure. You beat Iron Man Tribunal. It may depend on if Onslaught gets moved with Spider-Man or not, but I don't know. Wait, you said he's a good player? I don't know, guys. Clearly we're all here rather than there, but you can learn a lot from him without like... Oh, are we talking about Jeff? He's a good player. We lost the 50-50, didn't we? Jeff is absolutely a good player, and he's a good deck builder as well. So he creates some really like cool, unique things. So Hit Monkey Sage, Wave, Killmonger, Surfer. Said it's a surfer dump deck. It's so silly. Woof. Worth the 8-cuber to see it, I guess. Oh, KX was playing that? Seven 3 costs on turn 7. Yeah, 7 3 costs, because if you do, if you're able to get Thera plus Onslaught down, then they become 1 cost. It's crazy. I haven't tried the Midnight Suns game. I've heard about it, but I haven't tried it. Good game, Splat. You absolutely cooked us. At no point in time would I have been able to guess what that last turn play was going to be. You absolutely cooked us with it. The one thing that I always know whenever I run into a match with you is that you're going to be running some kind of crazy deck. Like, it is never like, it's never just like a straightforward deck, and I don't think I've ever ran into you running the same deck twice. And Bean Man, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. Not an incredible premium mystery variant. Maybe not awful either. He said, I appreciate it. Hope the stream keeps going well. Thank you. I mean, but that loss could have been the thing that like sent us down a losing streak. But no, you can link it here. I think the bot will block it, but I'll push it through for you. Beanman, you said you got to 72 when you hit infinite. That's huge. That must mean you had a pretty big or good MMR, because you started pretty well there. So I pasted over your deck, Splat. Did you come up with that brew, or did you see it somewhere else? Yeah, I thought the climb was a little bit easier this season, but it could have been that I was hard versus trying to like force and use something like Symbiote Spider-Man, which was a pretty counterable card. Did I got 13 last season? Oh, but it took longer. Yeah. So the Dakin from Arisham is unfortunate. We could try to do Juggernaut, but that's not huge for us. So let's go Kingpin, right? He said, yeah, I figured it out right at the tail end of last season. KX made a swap for Hitmonkey. That seemed reasonable, so I took that. Nice. That's incredible. I'm glad that the deck one is doing well. I may have to try it out. What do you target with Swordmaster? Me? Or who? Oh, in the deck. I think Swordmaster is just a last turn dump card, where it's just that big power. that was without looking at the deck though. I was just making an assumption. So we can go Miles, we can go Spider-Man. Maybe pull their Kate Bishop, their Mur Monster Shard over to the right. We're looking to hopefully cap them out in Astronym. Strongman in Onslaught lane is 115. That's wild. I'm gonna try it out after this. Actually, yeah, we're gonna try it out. We're gonna try it out after this. Has the hot location been disruptive much for you, or not really, since it's like a last turn flood type of thing?
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
And Corey said, honestly, I can't stand Conquest. I don't mind playing it, but from a like viewer standpoint, I don't know that it'd be super engaging to watch. So basic arrow pushing over here brings them to 25, 26. Actually 24 because of the kingpin. This brings us up to 21, 22. Not quite. So maybe we just need to fight for and focus on winning left. Maybe it's left and mid instead. Or they could play something in Cassandra Nova Land and we don't win it anyways.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
I won with Ali. You won against Ali with Scream Deck? Were you running the Scream Deck or was he? You were both running it, and you were able to beat him. Impressive. We could Juggernaut, but that leaves this lane susceptible because Asher and him hurt us. We'll jump out of this one. So what kind of Scream Deck are you running? Build out this. Build out this one. I'm curious. We got we got bodied by it hard enough. I wanna see how this one goes. Let's delete this one. I didn't care for that one as much. The Craven felt more weak than anything most of the time. All right. So looking at it. We have all of our 3-cost cards. We have Sarah and we have Onslaught. So the play is going to be get Sarah down, get Onslaught on top of it after having magic to extend the game. And then we just flood everything else on the last turn to make just an absurdly large power swing. So it seems straightforward enough. We'll see how we're able to do with it. Beanman, you said I thought Hope was in there. I didn't have Killmonger. Gotcha. So no magic, no win though. It's true. No magic, no win. Well, you could get Wave, right? You could get Wave into Onslaught on 4, Sarah on 5. And so more likely to be no Sarah, Onslaught, no win. Oh, you could also do Wave Sarah and then Onslaught on 5 too, I guess. All right, so first up we have Miss Monkey. First location is Muir Island. We do have Sarah in our opening hand. We're going against the Heliday, which means they have no kind of counter. If we can get our pieces, then we'll just be able to win. We're going to be able to do Wave into Sarah, so we'll get Sarah down on the board. Said he had a kind of a crazy run. It's okay though, you have streamer luck. We'll see. There's okay. that is a snap-worthy top deck, I do believe. Let's go ahead and go Wave into Astronym. I said you stole Cage? Oh, we did? Huge. No Luke Cage for him either. And so we can play Luke Cage in negative zone. This is the like ideal game. We might do Sarah do magic next turn, maybe. That way we have more turns to draw into our bigger pieces. Go ahead and go Sarah so we get the discount on Onslaught. A few fight before the broadcast ends. I'll check it out, Titano. So the big Giganto. Hopefully it's not gigantic enough. Let's go Magic. We can go with the others, but I'm going to save them for that last turn dump play. burn Asteroid M, and then we're gonna play Onslaught left, turn number 6. Turn number 7 is everything else coming down. So we know that they'll be able to get their Hela guaranteed, because the bottom card in their deck is Luke Cage. But if we can draw Strong Guy, we don't have Surfer yet though. I guess Sage is still pretty solid, along with the Hit Monkey. Strong Guy would be great though. Be able to play it into the Onslaught lane at that like 115 power level. Then with Luke Cage, negative zone should be pretty easy to overtake as well. I played Regis testing his new deck this morning, but didn't make the video. Prominence.
Opponent snapped.
What is this crazy deck? It is. I got cooked by it a little bit ago. It is a turn 7 Silver Surfer dump deck.
Minions to
So it's
me.
looking to go to. we're going to try and get the AQs back. So it's looking to go to turn 7, and then we just dump everything we have at them. So for this one, it's going to be. Let's see. Sage is 2, 4, 6, 8 power. This is 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. We can do Hit Monkey, Sage, Surfer. Ridiculous. Surfer, or not Surfer. Cage, Swordmaster, Gladiator, Killmonger. We take out the blade and we just dump here. Couldn't you have gone Wave, Onslaught, Sarah? If you have Wave in the deck, that is. Yeah, you could also go Wave, Onslaught, Sarah. Gladiator's a little scary. It's not. We know what we're gonna pull. So Copycat copied Luke Cage. So Luke Cage is at the bottom of their deck. They only have one more card in their deck. So we're gonna pull Luke. And so not as scary as it seems like it should be. Let's go ahead and lock it in. See if we get the 8 cuber. Wait. They had a second Luke Cage? What? Oh no. Where'd the Luke Cage come from? We're still gonna win. Oh, it no longer steals it anymore. I forgot it's just a copy and not a complete replacement. Yo, Woody, yeah. I forgot about the chain. I stopped running Copycat around the time they made the change. We still grabbed the win, but I forgot that Copycat doesn't steal it anymore. It just copies it now. We do take the 8 cubes though. What a ridiculous deck. We'll take it. Let's jump over into the next one. Splats, I'm glad you got your cubes back. Me too. Oh man, this deck is wild. It's very draw dependent, similar to like a Mr. Negative, but it's at this point it's like a little bit more surprising until it becomes more known. Wild. Very close game, Steven. Very, very close game. Cry said, what is this deck? It is it is a Silver Surfer last turn dump deck. It's playing 7 3-cost cards on turn number 7. Pete Greenathy, thank you for the reminder. There we go. That should be the better scene. You said time to put Mobius in my decks? Possibly. Next up, we have IEP Honk Shu. There is Limbo already on the board, so we don't have to play anything out early. We steal their Stegron, which is beautiful to see. We've seen the deck twice, and it won 16 cubes. Yeah, once it won against me, and then once it won against the Hela deck. Chris Cross. We're gonna do the cha-cha slide with the webcam. It seems like a Tribunal deck. Ah. All right. The rest of the attempt is kind of scuffed now. Copy, yes, not steal. Now we just have to get lucky. It's just a little bit less likely. But the good thing is we know that we lost, and so it's only going to be for 1 cube. Down to 15.
Opponent snapped.
I'll give them that one.
Escape.
No Sage for me, Sage. Sage is just like a big 3 cost that can be like a big power, especially dropping it on the last turn as your last card. Master could work with discarding the shard if Dakin were in the deck. It could, but it would be, I feel like it would be kind of dependent on having like the perfect hand set up already. And so I don't know if it would add a whole lot. All right, let's jump into the next one. Groot for copycat replacement. Yeah, Groot could be pretty solid. Since you're going to be playing it on turn 7, you could pretty easily know where the opponent's going to need to play. So I think you get some benefit with like a Guardian. What's this deck about? This deck is about domination. It is about pure, just absolute domination. So it is, at its core, it's a last turn dump deck. It's a Surfer deck, but it looks to lean into just flooding the board on the last turn. So turn 7, you're going to play about seven 3-cost cards. So it's really surprising to the opponent to see like what you're planning or what you're going to do. Since we don't have Sarah yet, we also don't have a Surfer. So I kind of think we change one of these two. We might go digging in the Quantum Tunnel, starting next turn if we don't draw the Sarah that we need. It's kind of like an Exodia deck. Yeah. What deck did you use to climb to Infinite? I played a Agent Venom Hit Monkey deck. Ooh, they changed the right lane for us. We draw 1 card, we copy their Wasp, fortunately, and we do get Silver Surfer. So we are going to need to play one of those. And hope to draw Sarah next turn. We have a 1 out of 3 shot. Go ahead and I guess stage the strong guy. We'll give him a little bit of a heads up.
Opponent snapped.
We believe in the heart of the cards. It's a 33% chance. Statistically, we should probably leave. Because I think if we don't get the Sarah, we're out of luck. But I'm going to stay. Wave is not going to do it. We could lean into Patriot. We can only drop 2 3 costs on the final turn. Oh, I guess we have 2 more turns, right? So we could potentially get like a Sarah next turn and do 3 3 costs. Not as good as doing 7, but maybe we get lucky. Let's see what we pull on their end. The Valkyrie. Fortunate. We do get Sarah.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Gladiator Valkyrie was unfortunate. So Sarah, we can do several 3 costs on the last turn. We're probably going to retreat out of this one though. Lucky Wander Boy, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. That pushes us to 14 for the day. It's just 2 cubes, it's fine. Yeah, but my stubborn self, if I get to the last turn, my chances of staying are pretty high. It shouldn't be, but so Swordmaster would get rid of Onslaught. Sage. Surfer. I don't think that's gonna do it. We'll jump out. We're not gonna risk it. We drew Sarah just a touch too late.
Escaped.
The stuff that is quoted, I always try and backtrack and find where it came from, and I always get lost. And then Screenspire said, "What in the world are you playing?" We're playing a Surfer dump deck. Kind kind of like an Exodia deck. The plan is kind of like the one-turn kill deck that kind of got popular a little while ago. It was never super strong. That one wasn't. Where you play like Modok plus Hela on the same turn. It was a very particular line that you had to draw. It's very similar to that. And Trash Panda with the name Origin. I didn't miss a name Origin earlier, did I? I don't think I did. The UFG Blaze, that was the only one we've had. Yeah. All right, so we have a name Origin. I'll tell it right after this game. Don't you worry. You could wave an onslaught on T5 for the T6 Sarah. Yeah, yep, you can. If you get the wave instead of like the magic, you can. This reminds me of the Agent Venom Viper Destroy Odin combo that Binks was trying to get. Agent Venom. Wait. Oh, I didn't realize he was trying to do something like that yesterday. I know there was one point in time where he ran a Viper Destroyer deck with an Odin to try to Viper the Destroyer over into Odin retriggering it on the opponent's end. It felt like he tried to run that for days before he was finally able to make it pop. And so Agent Venom means that our Gladiator can pull and destroy any of their cards, which is kind of nice. We could also stage it into Deep Space and be fine there. But I like the idea of playing out the Gladiator. He said it's the Splat deck. Yeah, I did get bodied a second ago by the Splat deck, Butt Squad. And so that I figured we would give it a shot, see what all the rage was about. We get a Sarah. We don't have the turn extension. I love Splat decks. Splat creates some crazy decks. I was telling Splat, they popped into the chat a little while ago after they beat us for 8 cubes. They popped into the chat, and I was telling him that anytime I see him, I have no idea what kind of deck he's running. It could be the best deck in the world. It could be just a pile of 12 bad cards for something that he kind of dreamed up and was testing out. There's no telling what he's going to be running. Is it finally a streamer who doesn't curse? Boji, welcome in. That is something that I do make sure is part of the streams. So the biggest reason is with my daughter and son, as they get older, they will eventually stumble upon like my streams or my content. And I want it to be something that when they see it, it's not going to be like, ooh, like, why is he acting different? Or like, why is he acting that way when he doesn't normally, he wouldn't normally like say those things or behave that way. And so I always want it to be like a true representation of me. So when they find it, B-Man, you said snap. I don't think we win this one, honestly. That explains why you've held off on starting that OnlyFans page. That and I can guarantee you nobody wants that to happen. So I'd get paid to not make one before I'd get paid to make one. But also, yeah, that feeds into it as well. You said golden rule, never magic the gym? Yeah. Yep, you always need the gym in your life. And we destroyed their Falcon, yeah. It could still go pretty explosive. I do kind of wish we had the Swordmaster. It's like this. I don't know it's huge, but it might be worth one additional cube.
Escaped.
And then we do have a quick ad break, and then when we come back, will be the TLSG name Origin that was redeemed by Trash Panda 42. So we'll tell there's been a lot of rumors. Oh, I need to play the agent deck at least one time to finish this one off. There's been a lot of rumors about what TLSG means and what the origin is, but there's only one true, real meaning. We'll tell it right after the ad break. for the not OnlyFans fund. Melv, I appreciate it. Every little bit helps us to make sure that we don't make that decision.
Epic.
And so we're gonna run to the quick ad break, and then we'll be right back. You guys don't go anywhere. And then Nate, you said it took him 10 minutes the first time, and another 3.5 hours to get the combo again. My goodness. This is what he was doing again. Yep. I remember the first time. It was a struggle. All this time I thought TLSG means the Lord of Shadow Games, but the real meaning is better. The Lord of Shadow Games. I mean, I can't let Pegasus win. Definitely can't let Pegasus get the better of us. So once we get back from break, I'll do the name origin, and then we'll jump in with a little bit more of the splat deck. See if we can get it really popping on. These legs so good. I mean, you guys don't ever get to see the legs. They could be incredible. All right, so we should all be back from break. As far as the origin story, Boji, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Is that a factor meal perchance? It is, T Greenathy. So today's
welcome.
stream is sponsored by Factor. I did the plug a little while ago, but if you guys want to check them out, they're quick and easy to heat up meals, so it takes 2 minutes in the microwave. And so it's great if you're needing to like return to the office, if you need a quick lunch. If you end up using my link, you get a 50% off discount on your first one, and then 20% off of any of the following ones. And so if you want to check them out, they're actually really tasty. But as far as what TLSG means, there have been a lot of like rumors and a lot of things that go around of what TLSG truly means, and this one is one true story. So whenever I was younger, and even now, I'm one of those people that likes to stay up after the rest of the house goes to sleep so that I can really have like my me time. And so that way I could focus on doing or playing whatever game I wanted to, or doing whatever interest it was without having to worry about taking care of anyone else's needs. And so when I was growing up, especially when I was in school, it was kind of problematic because I would always stay up super late, especially during the summers. I would make it a goal to be able to stay up throughout the entire night, and I would do that while I was gaming. And there was one year coming back into school where even a couple of days before school started, I was staying up until like 9 a.m., 10 a.m., like playing games throughout the night, and then I would sleep during the day and wake up and do it again. And going into that first day of school, it was around 3 a.m., and I realized that I was not going to be able to sleep. And I was actually starting a new game that had released. It was I was starting a new character on WoW at the time, and it was around 3 a.m. and I needed to create a name, probably driven by a lot of like sleepiness. But I thought it was really funny to be because I remember thinking, well, it's too late to stop gaming now, and so I titled it as TLSG, and I for whatever reason I found it so funny. That,
hey, welcome. It took you long
that
enough.
name and I applied it to every kind of system or new game that I started from that point on. It was TLSG or too late to stop gaming. Because at a certain point, like if I was staying up that late. If I went to bed at 3 and had to wake up at 7, it just wasn't going to happen. And so at that point, it was the point of no return. It was just, it was too late to stop the gaming. And that is the one true origin for what TLSG stands for. Nobu Punk, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Very much appreciate having you here. That brings us up to 16 for the day at 1,112. Very much appreciate the support and appreciate having you here. Chewbacca said, now hold on a minute. The long-winded story guy? Yep, I have been called that one as well. Talking about where TLSG comes from is like the Joker talking about how he got those scars. It is indeed. One of the mods that I had whenever I was first starting the channel thought it was a very funny idea. To always have like some kind of like ongoing running like pun or joke about it, and so I thought it was really funny, especially for like my kind of non-serious like persona or attitude, and so I took it and ran with it. Georgia, I said I love a good bit. I absolutely love a good bit too. I love how most people have a good story behind how they chose their username. Yes, Skeleton. Most people have a really good reason. My first username had probably the worst reasoning ever. I grew up in Oklahoma. My first name was owned by Tomater. Super young, and I played it when I was playing Call of Duty. And I grew up in Oklahoma, so pretty southern people. And we had this holder for potatoes and onions in our kitchen, and in true like southern fashion, it called them like taters and onions or something like that. And so I couldn't think of a username, and so then I pulled it from the closest thing, or the first thing that I saw, which was the taters like box or storage. And so not a great origin, but that was the origin of my very first username. I dumped that one pretty quickly, but that was the first time I had like PlayStation Online, and I just like I hadn't had to think about usernames before, and so I was like, I don't know what to choose. So we landed on that. My first username had lead in it. I'm surprised my first username didn't start with like XX underscore whatever XX, because it could very easily be that, because that was like the kind of go-to for back in that time. He said my username is from the video of the Irish family that couldn't get a bat out of their house. Get 'em, Derry. I love a good username. You said XX Elite TLSG XX. So we're gonna be able to do six 3-cost cards on the final turn. We'll go ahead and snap into it. My OG RuneScape name was Football 530. That is a solid username. I don't remember my original RuneScape name, honestly. It's been so long. Because my original one, I think I shared with a couple of other people in my class. And eventually it got to the point where someone was stealing it back and forth like almost every other day. So I had to branch out and create my own. But when we first started playing, we were like, oh, we're not going to play much. We'll band together and buy a membership. And then it got to the point where someone would steal it, change the username, change the password. And so we had to just cut ties at that point. Next up, we have a blot. We do get wave, so that's one of the pieces of getting our combo down.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Toast Butte pick. Toast, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support. Very much appreciate having you here. Hopefully you're having a great one. So they have a Koye. Not a strong start for most of the time. It could be like a Koye. It could have Gwynpool. It could have some scary stuff to go along with it. Blink is at the bottom of their deck. Ooh, that could be kind of decent, right? We do like maybe a wave.
Hey, welcome. It took you long enough.
Wave, if we get Onslaught or Sarah, we're golden because we have the blink to play after it. Let's go ahead and try it. I'll play wave over into the left. And then Chubraka, 40, thank you so much for the Prime sub and the support as well. Hopefully you're having a great day so far. That pushes us to 18 for the day. So, ooh, that is going to be a snap. We do get the Onslaught, and so we can do... We can do Blink this turn. That pulls into Sarah guaranteed. Onslaught comes down next turn. And then we just flood from there. And so that is the perfect top deck that we could have asked for. We know that their Electro can't be blinked away, which we love to see. We're going to be able to flood on this last one. Draw back into our wave. Let's go Onslaught. They're very sad about the blink. I told the original name came from Club Penguin. Was of course Pingu. I mean, I never got to really enjoy Club Penguin, but I know a lot of people that that did play it. My first like internet game was Neopets, and I absolutely spent too much time on Neopets. So strong guy, we go Gladiator, Swordmaster, Wave, Killmonger, Herfer, and I think we coast into the victory. So big Cersei. Oh, strong guy should be 15, right? Wow, that is a double Arsham because the 6 costs upgrading. But the 15 power strong guy was too strong. Does it pull over reduced power cards? It does, but since the left lane is full, it wasn't able to. We are able to mash a lot of power down onto the board, just an ungodly amount. We'll take the 4 cubes. Let's jump over into the next one. This deck is wild. When you get the combo to go off, so I feel like once people know what that payoff is that they're shooting for, you'll see a lot less 4 cubes. Right now, it's a relatively unknown finisher, and so I feel like you see more 4 and 8 cubes because of that. But we'll see how we can abuse it for now. Let's go ahead and I'm gonna drop one more.
Epic.
Never mind. We're not gonna drop it for the destroy. We'll just wait it out. So this deck is insane. I love it so much. No videos. It's for the Twitch stream. Are you telling me not to do a spotlight video on it? When this deck works, it works. It does. Staying in against an Onslaught Sarah feels wild. It does, but without having any of the other setup, it feels like a Living Tribunal that didn't quite hit their mark. Is Scream worth it? Scream is decent. She's very playable, but she's very rigid in where she's going to be played. She's not going to be flexible and played in like multiple decks. Next up, we have Harbosh 6 with a Quicksilver. We have to look out for a Galactus deck. We probably need to play maybe a few things early, or as early as we can. So the Zabu comes down. We are going to see probably either Symbiote Spider-Man or something similar. Without being able to play our 3 costs into Vibranium Mine, we might be in trouble. We can go Magic. Our card's going to pull over to the right. We're going to hope that it's Wiccan. And then we can Gladiator to the left. No, it's Symbiote Spider-Man. Oof. All right, but they can't play their... They can't play Galactus yet. Super brave to be running the Galactus deck in all the like movement stuff that we have. Let's go Gladiator. See what we can make happen. Gladiator? Yes, I like the, well, it's not awful. I do wish Cannonball would have pushed us here, though. Because we don't have initiative. They can't do Galactus yet. We're okay. We might be all right. So I do like this Gladiator. Didn't you make a Wiccan Galactus deck? I did. I did very, very recently, actually. So if we did Sarah, probably don't maintain priority. If we do Swordmaster, we discard some maybe key pieces. He made the Wiccan Galactus deck. All right, so Wave, unfortunate. Jeff, unfortunate. We don't have priority. If they have Galactus, we are hooked. Actually, maybe not. Big Goliath hit. So maybe we're not. Because if they go Galactus, it's only, what, 6? So as long as we play something over there, we're good. Maybe it's something like this. Swordmaster / Copycat. We could do Swordmaster / Copycat. I kind of want to say... Actually, Swordmaster doesn't have anything to discard, does it? We'll go Swordmaster. Wrong guy. And I kind of want to save the Copycat in case we grab... I guess if we don't play anything big here, we won't grab priority. 2, 4, 6, 8. Might grab priority off of that. Yeah, and Store Manager. Yeah, I know that you were rocking the... Ooh, they can move their symbiote Spider-Man. Because it merged with Jeff, it resets it. And they ripped away Limbo. Had we pushed strong Swordmaster mid, maybe? But we're going to be just under being able to win this mid lane. Scarlet Witch that came from the hub, too. It wasn't even their card. So Manager said Quicksilver my most played card for the last 2 seasons. Yeah, I remember like immediately after the card came out, you had been rocking the Wiccan Galactus. I tried it and was getting absolutely cluttered, but recently revisited and loved it. That's a rough one. Yeah, that's a rough one. It can be tough to play around that deck. We got very, very close to beating the Red Hulk. But with also needing to respect the Galactus left, we just didn't quite have it. Would Crystal be an option for this deck to try and get the card you need? Lalo, it might be. It might be an okay one. You do give your opponent some resources. You lose high-powered potential drop on turn number 7 or 6, but you also have a better chance of drawing into your combo more consistently. I don't think it's bad, but it might depend on like what the opponent, like if you're giving the opponent something really big, or not. What's going on? I don't think it's ever taken me that long to match a... Buddy. Would Makari fit? So I don't think Makari would fit necessarily because we want to be able to drop the 3 costs. And so since it plays itself, it wouldn't be able to potentially like surprise them or pick up the hit monkey on that last turn. Drop start tomorrow. Bad. I didn't see your original question. I apologize. But drops aren't online until tomorrow at 11 Central Time. And so at that point, I'll be live for some degenerate hours starting tomorrow. Next up, we have IEP Honk Shu, rank 88, which is right around where we started. We could potentially pull Onslaught into Sakar if we get super lucky. What are the drop rewards? The high end is a Spider-Man 2099 variant. Unfortunate. Not what we wanted to see. Also, a big Goliath came down. It could be Cope, but is there a chance we still can win this? We would need some better draws. So if they're not going to snap on us, I say we wait and see what our next draw would be. We would need it to be probably Magic, right?
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man.
Magic, and then the follow-up would need to be like Sarah. Okay. Let's start. We need the follow-up of the Sarah to make it a reality. If so, we can potentially stay in and win. Sarah next. Sarah? Ah. Unfortunate. We were alive for a second. It was the 1 out of 5, so very unlikely to be able to draw it. And Kenny Cooks, I'll catch you next time. Thank you so much for hanging out during your workday. Hopefully it did make it go by just a little bit faster for you. And hopefully we can catch you around in the next one. So we could do Killmonger, take out the Kingpin, take out the Nebula. Oh. Interesting addition to the Scream decks. And then Great said, would Crystal make the deck better? Potentially. It could potentially make it better, I think. Still no Sarah, which is unfortunate. We can go Strong Guy, Wave. We can also go Strong Guy Magneto to cap out mid. If they rip away Limbo and I ripped myself out of an extra cube, I'll cry. You know what? I'll get Hulkling into my Wiccan Galactus deck. I enjoy a good Hulkling. There's the Sarah. Right when we didn't need it anymore. Why is Swordmaster in the deck? So Swordmaster for those games where you might just have a few too many cards in hand, so you can proc the Strong Guy. And since we're typically dumping our cards on turn number 7 anyways, it potentially discarding cards won't matter. And then Butter My Biscuits, how's it going? So my title is now my stream title is now lying. We're not top 100 anymore. We started off strong with a Scream deck that I still think is pretty good. But with it being featured, it kind of fell off for us a little bit. Not it being featured, but with the featured location popping up, it fell off a little bit for us. And so then I got roasted for 8 cubes against Splat using this deck, and I was intrigued enough that I had to give it a shot. And then Drunken King, time to call it a day for you. Thank you for the good vibes. Thank you so much for hanging out, Drunken King. Hopefully we'll catch you tomorrow for the drops. Would absolutely love to have you. I expect to stream some incredibly long hours tomorrow, so I'm not gonna burn through too many games too quickly tonight. But tomorrow it'll probably be initially like 7 hours, and then I'll take about a 4-hour break and then do another 7 or 8. Rambo, you said I'm literally saving my keys for next week. I know you're gonna cook a Misery Mill deck that's gonna be fun. I'm gonna try my very best. And then Pones Alone, are you headed out? So next up we have Not My Dance. We already have Limbo down, which is nice to see. We have the copycat that is Madam Web, which is kind of cool. Your workday is coming to a close. Well, thank you for hanging out, Pones Alone. Hopefully it helped the workday go by a little bit faster, and hopefully we'll catch you again in the next one. So we get Strong Guy, and we have the Gladiator Swordmaster, but I think we kind of save that for the last turn. Since we do have Sarah on... Actually, I'm not sure what we're doing. We have Sarah and Onslaught. Since we have both, I'm going to... 3, 6. We'll need to play at least one card. I'll go ahead and play the Strong Guy. And then we'll skip next turn and just have a handful of stuff. I think I'm going to skip Misery. Not looking very good. I think for Misery, I want to play it and get a feel for it. She might either be really good, but she might also be really tough to play. That makes like hands clunky. So Copycat copied Madam Web. Go ahead and skip here as well. So Stegron with the movement, that's fine. We're all right with a little bit of movement. Let's go Sarah. As long as we don't get like Arrow to pull Sarah out of our Onslaught lane or something silly like that, we should be okay. Scream. Ooh, it might happen. Scream, Vulture. If it does, we'll have to make do with what we can get. I think we just hope that it doesn't. Too excited for Scorn and Toxin. Go for Misery. Yeah, I think Toxin is going to be insane in any kind of bounce shells. He'll probably find a few shells outside of that to work within. But for bounce, he's going to be crazy. So he'll go really good with like Sable, Rocket, your typical bounce style cards. And then Scorn, I think, is going to be a really hit or miss. It's either going to be incredible. I think for the first like 3 days of Scorn, if it's super impactful, we won't see a whole lot of it. But if it turns out after that, because I think we'll see a lot of hard counters to it if it's strong. So like the Cosmos, the armors, those sorts of things. And then outside of that, I think it'll have a lot of potential. We have the Dream setup coming down here. We have everything that we could ever want or need. My goodness. Let's go Gladiator, Sage. We're gonna go Swordmaster, Hit Monkey, Wave, Copycat, Silver Surfer. My goodness. Magneto isn't real? We go last, and right now Magneto doesn't have anything he can pull besides Strong Guy. And so he can't even pull it anywhere. So we don't even have to worry about him. Let's go ahead and dump our entire hand. It's a ridiculous thing when it happens. All right, so Grapple Arrow and Dagger, that's big. All right, but I think we lose mid anyways. Then Red Guardian, taking out the Sarah, that's fine. A turn too late, thankfully. We have the Gladiator coming in. We have the big Sage. We are already winning in mid before anything comes down. Goodness. We're going to be able to handily take the 4 cubes here. By just a little bit. It'll take the 4. Let's go ahead and jump over into the next one. Goodness. When this deck works, it works. Not my dance. Very good game. Crazy combo. I was afraid that you were going to have like an Arrow or even the Red Guardian to cancel the Sarah early. But as soon as Sarah Onslaught gets stacked, it goes crazy. And then Roram, you said, how's it going? I've seen this deck a lot on ladder. It's wild. Yeah, so Splaticus may have started something. I have every spotlight card this month, so I'm trying to decide if any of this month's new cards are worth picking up. I'd say Scream is probably you'd probably be okay skipping it. I think it's a decent card for what it is, but it's very rigid in how and what you can build it in, and so I think like if you miss it, it won't it won't be like every deck you see is running Scream. And so I think you'd probably be okay with a miss. It's time for a really quick set of ads, and then we'll jump back into a little bit more of this gameplay. The deck itself, Tucker said, yeah, this is crazy. It is indeed. So the deck itself is, we're actually a little bit less than a, we've only played it for 9 games. It's a little bit less than a 50% win rate because I got pretty unlucky with some draws and some discards and things. But even though we're 47% win rate, we have an average cubes per game gained of 0.89, which is wild. So the ones we're winning big. Play Sarah and Onslaught, then play everything. Yep, you play Sarah, you play Onslaught, and then everything else comes down on turn 7. And it's just high value, high power plays that just burst a lot. So it's kind of surprising for the opponent until they realize that this is the combo that follows. And so we're going to run to the quick set of ads, and then we'll be right back. Don't go anywhere, you guys. I think we'll probably end around probably 55% win rate with the deck, I think, is what it kind of feels like. I think we got unlucky on the first couple of draws. So I think we'll have some good runs with it. But the cube rate, I think, is what is going to make this one go crazy. Kind of a mix of power and tech cards, all on 7. Yeah. Yep, exactly. So if it's like a flood deck, ads, by the way, yeah. I'm going to slow play this first one, Bean. Or the first turn, at least. We have about 30 seconds left. Well, we have 45 seconds left of the ads. Second City. I haven't watched Penguin. I've been so I'm doing like knowledge transfers at my day job to try to get ready for me leaving. And then doing these streams, I haven't had a chance to, but it's on my list. Next up, we have Vosh, rank 62 right now. We do have the strong guy. We have Sarah, which is a great start for us. If we can get Wave to get Sarah down early, that enables the rest of our combo or Magic. Either one will work well. Close Diablo Space could be decent for Astrodim. When's the D-Day? The D-Day is the 18th. October 18th is the last day, and I'm doing half days up until that point. So the wave came down too late, fortunately. So let's try the Gladiator mid. Oh, that's a retreat? Yeah. Yeah. He said Mobius run. Yeah. Yeah, with the Sarah, we don't want to do anything. And we pull in the big She-Hulk. Scary. Yeah, we can't do anything. We can't do Wave. We can't do Sarah. We're going to run as fast as we can. Hobbit, you said I skipped Sable and got the other cards of this last season. Now I regret it. Sable is... She's not broken by herself, but she's very splashable. Something like Madam Web isn't as impactfully splashable. Same thing with Aranya. And so I think of the cards last season, Sable's probably the most flexible. I think Madam Web has some of the most impact on movement style decks, but I think Sable you'll see just in most good or high end decks. Last season was the only season I picked up all the cards. All the cards for last season were pretty decent. They all serve a pretty cool role. I think. What was the? Oh, Scarlet Spider. Scarlet Spider was probably the only complete one that I feel like was very unimpactful. You don't see it anywhere because it takes too much to really build into him. I wish I would have skipped Scream. I mean, maybe somebody will come up with a brew that just really makes Scream pop off. Took me 4 keys. Ooh, yeah, okay. With 4 keys, I can see that. I feel a little bit less remorse because I got lucky and I got a 1-tap. But I'm sure I'll be right there with you on the 4 keys sometime soon. All right, next up we have Avalon running a Destroy deck, which we should be able to go over the top of if we get our combo down. We have Magic and Wave, which are both beautiful here. And it could also get buffed, true. We get, I was hoping we pulled like their Null or something better. We could always try for like a Gladiator, but I think instead we're going to go Magic. To extend the game, we have a better chance of drawing into our key pieces. An archetype as a whole that you don't really like. Yeah, the thing that the issue I have with the archetype or the disrupt movement style archetype is that like it can be strong, but it can also be potentially very transparent. All right, let's go Wave. Doesn't really matter where we play Wave. We still don't, do we stay on this one? We still don't have Sarah. We don't have Onslaught. Drinking the copium. Hey, they changed our limbo. Rude. Hate to see it.
I definitely need to change my underwear.
So now we definitely can't get the full combo. What we're hoping for is Sarah here as a top deck. That is not a Sarah. All right, we already stayed for the extra, so we might as well try for like a Gladiator. We do have a Killmonger to take out their Deadpool if we go last, but they probably have the free death, so I think we just... We don't have Sarah, we don't have Onslaught. Let's see if we can draw them, and then did not. Whoa, we took out their death, huge. Not as huge, followed right by Null. It's a very big, that's a very big Null indeed. I believe in the Monger. Ooh, hold on. I always forget that Destroy decks a lot of times will run Arnim Zola. Arnim Zola right here is a loss. Zola is real. He's very real and very, very scary. We'll give Avalon the 2. Man, and we're falling just slower and slower down here. Let's try it for a few more times. When it pops really well. I need it to pop a little bit more often. We're gonna have to switch off. What's Onslaught used here for? Onslaught. Okay, so the biggest part of this deck is it's kind of like an Exodia deck. You do very little until the last turn.
Long enough.
You drop Sarah, Onslaught onto Sarah. All of your 3-cost cards are 1 cost. And so then you flood 7 3-cost cards on the last turn. And then Mia Grimlock 99, thank you so much for the Prime. Thank you for being here. Thank you for the support. That pushes us to 19 for the day. 1,115 is what we're at. We're closing in. I think we may be able to get to my wife's original goal of 1.25 before I was able to talk her down and barter her down to the 1,000 to switch over to full time that we ended at. And then Avalon, you said it was Zola. I didn't know for sure, but I assumed that it was at the very least within the wheelhouse, and I did not want to take that possibility or that chance. Now we might not do great against Clutter. Because Magic, if we lose Asgard, then kind of out of luck. Like if we get capped out of Asgard, I guess. Do Magic and change it for now. It is full Clutter. So I think full Clutter is another one that gives us problems. I think we're just not going to have the space to be able to flood everything we need to. Ooh, early Monger. True. True. Yeah, let's do an early Monger. Not one we do often, but one that I think is absolutely necessary here. So we take out the hood as well. Beautiful. Gives us the room to operate.
Friendly neighborhood Spider-Man here.
And a movement deck. Okay.
I will
want the throne.
Sage, so let's go ahead and try Sarah. Hope that they don't get a double clutter here. If so, we're not in a good place. We're not in a happy place if that happens. We could also try to do Sarah in mid, but I think that's a little bit easier for them to potentially clutter up. So Man-Thing and Demon, we are fine with both of those. Now, the important thing to know about with the Clubhouse is as soon as we play an unrevealed card there, it's only going to buff the cards in the other lanes that were revealed. So it's only going to buff these two. Let's go ahead and hit the Onslaught, and then we can flood 7 cards. 3, 4, no. We can flood 6 cards on the last turn. Man-Thing hurts a little? Yeah. He does hurt a little, but we can go pretty tall on some of our stuff. So like the Sage, the Hit Monkey can get pretty big. Can get pretty big pretty fast. We lose to the arrow too. Unfortunate arrow. We're gonna have to switch off of this deck, I fear. Like Hit Monkey. Sage, Surfer, which is not very big. Losing to arrow like the old days? Yeah, like the old days. The old days would have been on turn 6, though. Sage left, Surfer right. Surfer right pushes Titania their way, right? So this would be 15, 16, 17. 19, we lose 4. Yeah. So if they play for this one, then it loses, right? But if they don't, there's always a chance they just ignore it. They definitely do not play a card right. I don't think so. I think they play like a Hazmat here. I think we see a Hazmat Ajax come down. We definitely won the left lane. We definitely won that left lane. But they won the other ones. Yeah, we're gonna toss the deck. And just not holding over too well for us. I think we're just running into too many things that like counter that potential play line. If it's left like unimpeded, I think it does really, really well. But between like the arrows, the juggernauts, the red guardians, I'm running into a lot of things that are just derailing it. Then Vosh, welcome in. Hopefully you're having a good one. All right, so they lost the Rocket. We lost Polaris. We do get Scream early, which is good to see. Angel, you said I just outplayed my opponent with goblins. They juggered my Green Goblin and Astronym, bumped them both into a lane with Kingpin and Scream. -7 Goblin is treacherous. We can go Scream, but we'll wait until we end the stream before we go Scream. They lost their Rocket, so it's a bounce deck. It's probably a pretty standard like Agent Venom bounce deck, I would imagine. Darkmoon, are you gonna watch Secret Level? What is Secret Level? Is it a movie? Am I gonna blush if I Google that? It's an adult animated anthology series created by Tim Miller. Prime? Ooh, set in the world of video games? Ooh, interesting. Probably. Sounds like it's up my wheelhouse. Short films based on video games? Yeah, I'll probably check it out. It definitely looks pretty interesting. So we're gonna start the scaling with Scream. They only bounce their Sable in because we pushed the hood. Now we could arrow the beast over. We could also do like Juggernaut, like Juggernaut Spider-Man or Juggernaut Miles. I think I'm gonna do the safe and sound arrow. It will give them an arrow to use as well. I think that's okay. Clog better? Yeah, it might be better to clog. Wait, what? Are you saying Scream Clog? I haven't before, Carne. Oh, to clog right? Yeah, it might have potentially been better to clog right. Yeah, even though it gave them +2, we would have had that guaranteed win over there. But it looks like it doesn't matter. It's nice to be able to go back to grabbing a win. Let me see if I can grab a few here in the next little while. We do finish that one off, and the 8-cuber one. Move cards, yeah, we can complete that one. I usually use my drops each week on getting rid of the win 8-cube matches because those are such tedious ones for everybody. That typically I just clear those if I can. I hate that Scream is decent, but Scream decks suck. That's a pretty, I think, maybe accurate way to put it. The anti-movement, it's like right on the cusp of being very cohesive and very strong, but it's just like it just doesn't quite have what it needs, maybe. So I feel like it's right like 1 or 2 resources away from really being crazy. It's just not quite right, just not quite there. And then X Mordecai, I'm sorry, I don't know how long ago that came through. But the message on YouTube said, how's it going? Who you feeling more, Agent Venom or Scream? Definitely Venom. Venom feels like he's a much more like flexible card to use. Scream feels like she can go a little bit higher herself, but can also like backfire and takes a very particular deck to build into her. Did people forget how auto win arrow was? Yeah. We also didn't have as many resources then as we do now, so we might have things that could deal with it. Said it's all good. Well, I'm glad that you're still here, Kai. Then Hash Brown said, I'm sorry if it's personal. How are you able to manage your job and live streaming? Did you quit your job already? So I put in my notice because I did hit the 1,000 sub goal. So I did put in my notice at work, but I told them that I would do a 3-week notice instead of the 2, but I needed to take half days for those 3 weeks. And so that way I can go there in the mornings, I come home after, and then I hit up the streams. So that's how I'm juggling it right now. I'm burning the candles on all ends, but I'm absolutely excited for like that next transition and what it means from there. What type of work is it? It was data analytics is what work I did. We can either Stegron. We can just Stegron to get a solid lead over here into looking into like just Magneto and try to just raw outvalue them maybe. Hope you succeed. Thank you so much, Hass Brown. Me too. Hopefully we're able to make it happen. We get Scream. You can also, I mean, they can move the Jeff, but that's the only thing they're able to move out of this lane. Always Polaris to the left. Either that or something like Scream Spider-Man. There's a chance that we pull Craven and help buff that up in the left. We already win over here, so maybe we don't need to focus on that. Maybe it just becomes Arrow left, Magneto left, maybe? You said I got to infinite. I got to infinite with your deck and started to think Kingpin is more of a turn 4 play with Polaris and Spider-Man. With this one. So their Stegron caps us out in mid. Unfortunate. This would be our only chance. With a Magneto. Magneto's not going to pull anything from them. We just have to hope that we can outvalue them. But if they have a Cannonball trumps us here. Scream. Juggernaut also caps us out here. So it auto-modded you for the term, the where you said turn 4 play. It took 4 play as an inappropriate turn or inappropriate term. They're nerfing Scream. She no longer steals from unrevealed cards. Will she really? I feel like she's not even like that broken or that great as is. And they said that on the Discord, or is that just? Where did they say that at, Jan? I'll be sad, but I want to see it. Not on the Discord? Alright. So if it pops up, I'll see. I feel like she definitely needs to be able to interact with the unrevealed ones, though. It's not like she's like she's definitely not breaking or stealing the game away. Is this the deck that got to infinite? No, I used the Agent Venom Bast Hitmonkey deck to reach infinite this season. And I started playing this a bit afterwards. Ooh, we're going against
welcome.
Good Guy
It took you
Beats.
long enough.
Spy, thank you so much for the Prime sub, bringing us up to 20 for the day, and upping that count to 1,115. Let's see if we can beat Good Guy Binks. If he hits the whatever nasty combo, I'm gonna be so sad if he hits it on us. I'll let it happen as long as he doesn't snap us. Don't you think Craven has more value here than Jeff or Widow? So Jeff and Widow are pretty good at. So your backup line from like the Scream, the Kingpin, is full capping one of their lanes, and so something like White Widow or Jeff to protect ourselves from being capped out typically had more value, or it seemed like it had more value. And so I did have Craven, but he always felt underwhelming. Like it always felt like awkward to use him, and I didn't ever feel like wowed by him by any means. And then Spy, good luck on your new career. Thank you so much. And then Dark Moon, when will you stream Pokemon? That's a good question. I don't know for sure. I will do it at some point. And then Butter My Biscuit said snap right back. Oh man, we're gonna lose. We're gonna lose 8 to Binks. Got Charizard EX, huge. I haven't dove into the Charizard packs too much. On one account, it was mainly Mewtwo. On the second one, it was Pikachu. So I'll do a third one here in a while and do the Charizard side. That according to Glenn, it's not supposed to do that. Ah, man. It is unfortunate if that's the case. We could always Juggernaut away from the Isle of Silence. We have Jeff that can win Death's Domain for us, potentially. So it might be that we just Stegron. Juggernaut becomes kind of risky in the Isle of Silence. How's the Scream deck going? It's going all right. It's going all right. It started off super strong, but it's been kind of teetering since then. And so, especially with the featured location that we have. Let's see, we'll do White Widow. We're going to move the Jeff to discount our Miles on the final turn. That way we can do like maybe Miles Juggernaut, just depends. So they're actually going to change Scream. Oh man, there's a Silky Smooth deck. Yeah, I tried a Silky Smooth deck, but with Silk and Craven and Kingpin, I felt like I was always cluttering and capping myself out. And so it was very easy for the opponent to just outright win one of the lanes. So, Sage, Cassandra, can they win left by any means? If not, like this becomes our play. As long as they can't get 6 power into left. Sage, Cassandra, Hood, Bast. Could be looking at a Hitmonkey. I don't think we have anything that goes wide. Like, I don't think they would... I mean, maybe he's crazy enough that he's running Brood. Central 5-4. Didn't they already do... They already did the Demon, though. We just can't win... Can't win right. Right now it's 22 power. We're going to risk it. So 9 plus 6 is 15. That brings us up to just 20. Buffed Iron Man, you lose. Give Good Guy Binks the... Oh, he does run Brood. He is degenerate enough to run Brood. My goodness. So with the Agent Venom, getting it hit bumps it up to 4. The Patriot. Unfortunate. Not even the buffed Iron Man. But we are crashing out a little bit. I don't want to bleed anymore. So what I'm gonna do, we're gonna go ahead and end the stream. Prep up several different builds for tomorrow's stream. We're gonna go ahead and end out with that. I think we will give a shout out and then raid over into Binks. He's been putting in some absolute crazy hours. Unless there's someone else. I think I raided over into him yesterday. Let's see who's live. We have Dexter, Dara, and Binks. We also have Jeet, which he always created some really interesting decks. I used a few of his in the early days. We need to create a raid comment eventually, and yesterday we raided... Oh yeah, we did. We did raid... raided Dara. So we have Dara, Sizer, Jeet, Binks, Dexter. We could raid over to any one of them. I haven't watched much Sizer, and so I don't know what his vibe necessarily looks like or feels like. Let's see. Everyone's been on... We can go ahead and do Binks. I think since we lost to him on that 8-cuber, we'll go ahead and shift over into it. And then I I appreciate you guys being here. Before the ads roll, we're gonna queue up the raid, and we will make sure to catch you guys around very, very soon over in the next one. I'll be live tomorrow for the drops, and we're gonna do some degenerate hours starting tomorrow with the drops launching. So make sure that you guys are around. If you haven't followed, follow. We will catch you around in the next one. Thank you guys as always for being here. Give Binks a good warm welcome when you get there. Yeah, we're gonna be doing degen hours. We're gonna do a regular 11 to whatever stream, and then I'll be doing an overnight stream as well. And so I'll put in like 15 hours tomorrow. But thank you guys as always. We'll catch you around. As always, I appreciate each and every one of you. We will see you around on the next one. Later, guys.